3 minutes until showtime. Heads up, the show kicks off in 90 seconds. One minute until airtime. We're on the air in 30 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
It's time for the PIAA Class 6A championship game between the LaSalle College Prep Explorers and the Pittsburgh Central Catholic Vikings. Tonight's broadcast on the PIAA Radio Network is brought to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates, UPMC, and the NFHS Network. Let's send it out to Cumberland Valley High School's Chapman Field. With the call of the game, here's Bob McCool and Travis Sparks.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chapman Field, the home of the Cumberland Valley Eagles and the home of the PIAA Football State Championships as well. The Pittsburgh Central Catholic Vikings, the LaSalle College High School Explorers, both teams with one loss in the season. For LaSalle, that came in Philadelphia Catholic League play against the winner of last night's 5A championship, Roman Catholic, and the one loss this season for Pittsburgh Central Catholic happened in week one, and it happened to be against the LaSalle Explorers by a score of 23-6. But we are obviously much further into the season. But I think, Travis Sparks, I think we start with that only because of the nature of that game. You can't help but compare it, obviously, because they played each other. But there's a difference, and a distinct difference, and that's the quarterback position. LaSalle College High School has a quarterback in Gavin Sidwar, who was committed to Missouri, a senior, obviously, going up against Owen Herrick, the quarterback for Pittsburgh Central Catholic, who was making his first varsity start as a 10th grader.
Yeah, Sidwar's numbers throughout the year just stellar. 3,186 yards, 38 touchdowns, and a completion percentage somewhere around 75%. As far as the numbers for Pittsburgh Central Catholic in general, numbers just don't jump out. I mean, Herrick himself, well, just 56% completion percentage, but he's managed the ball very very well. 19 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and he's got a lot of rather huge supporting cast around him, especially Chris Black, who ran for 200 yards last weekend in the victory against Harrisburg. He's only got 619 on the year. He was injured throughout most of the year. Roman Thompson got a bulk of the work.
And you take a look at what Pittsburgh Central Catholic is, the situation they're in. Their head coach is Ryan Lehmeyer. He's in his 3rd season with the Vikings. He's 35-6. Got to the state championship game last year, lost to St. Joe's Prep. However, he is a quarterback's coach. He's an offensive guy. And I asked him, look, as a quarterback's guy, if you're grading Owen Herrick week 1 versus Owen Herrick, where is he now? And he said, I'm not necessarily a grade-wise, but he said it just really had to evolve. He had to learn a little bit. He had to learn about what to do and what to experience and under center and the different environments. And so he had to learn all that, and he has learned all that, and he has continued to improve each week. He said, that's really what I'm grading it on. I'm not grading it on from where he was then to where he is now. I'm grading it on how he's improved week by week, because the other pieces for the Vikings, the offensive line, the backs, the receivers, those positions were pretty much in place for the most part, but they had to get better at the quarterback spot, and obviously Herrick has been able to do that.
And they had a lot of tests earlier on in the year. After losing to LaSalle, they beat perennial power Pine Richland. They beat them 34-20. Then they went next door to Canton, Ohio, and took on Woodland Hills and dominated them 58-20. They beat North Allegheny twice, once in the regular season, once in the playoffs, and beat 2 very good Mid-Penn teams in State College and Harrisburg to get here to the title game.
Pittsburgh Central Catholic is making its 11th appearance in the PIAA playoffs. They are 21-6 all times. They have won 4 titles. They've been the runner-up 4 times, including, as I mentioned last year, they lost to St. Joe's Prep 35-6. But going back before that, the last time the Vikings had been in the state finals, you got to go back to 2016. The last time they won it was 2015, and there was only 4 classifications at that point in time. They beat Parkland in that 2015 PIAA championship by a score of 21-18. From LaSalle perspective, their coach and where they are, well, the Explorers are in the PIAA playoffs only for the 6th time, and they're in the state championship for the first time since 2010. They won it in 2009. In fact, they were the first Philadelphia Catholic League team to win a state football championship in 2009. They beat State College in the snow that day, 24-7. They came back the following year in 2010, and they lost to North Allegheny. The common denominator in that is now their head coach. That's Brett Gordon. His father, Drew, was the head coach then. Brett was the offensive coordinator. Brett coached for a while with his dad as the offensive coordinator, stepped away, was involved in some other things, and then eventually has come back. And he's back here at his alma mater, and the head coach, 2 seasons, 22-2. But he is a quarterback. He was a quarterback, a record-setting quarterback at LaSalle and then at Villanova. So it is about what they can do offensively, and he's got the guy he wants to direct the show in senior quarterback Gavin Sidwar.
And Sidwar has a number of targets to throw to. Joey O'Brien, over 1,000 yards receiving, 18 touchdowns, had 76 catches on the year. Owen Johnson needs 61 yards to go over 1,000 this year. And they got an unexpected lift from Jimmy Mahoney. He only had 26 catches all year long, but had 2 touchdowns last week after coming off of an injury where he missed a couple of the playoff games. So that was a nice boost for LaSalle last week in their domination of North Penn.
And, of course, the reason why they haven't been in the state championship since 2010 is that little school that they call St. Joe's Prep. This is the 10th 6A championship since the PIAA went to 6 classifications. This is the 10th version of the 6A championship, and St. Joe's Prep is not in it for the first time. They have obviously dominated the class. They have dominated the state oh so many times, winning 9 state championships. But LaSalle was able to cross that bridge by beating St. Joe's Prep not once, but twice. They beat them in the regular season as part of the Philadelphia Catholic League, and then they have to play them again for the Philadelphia Catholic League Championship, and they were able to win that football game and get to the next level, and that was to play for the city for the District 12 Championship. They beat St. Joe's Prep in the Catholic League Championship 24-14. Then they play Imhotep, who's also been on this stage as well, but Imhotep now at 6A, and LaSalle beats Imhotep for the District 12 Championship 31-16. Then they beat Easton by a score of 49-7 in the next round of the PIAA playoffs, the District 11 champion. And then last week, as Travis made reference to, they beat North Penn, the District 1 champion, 49-14. So it's been pretty smooth sailing for the Explorers through the postseason once they crossed that bridge of beating St. Joe's Prep for a second time.
Yeah, a lot of blue bloods, a lot of state titles on their resume, on the resumes of the teams they beat. They even beat Bonner Prendy, last year's 4A champ. They shut them out 42-0 back on October 11th. So a very good way for LaSalle to get to here at Cumberland Valley. Looks like, as has been the trend here this weekend, they win the toss, they defer to the second half.
Yeah, LaSalle wins the toss. Pittsburgh Central will get the football to start the game, so we'll get a chance to see how the Vikings under Ryan Lahmeyer and both these two teams, as Travis said, this is primetime big boy football, and there are a number of Division I football players on both sides of the football. We'll talk about all of that tonight. But you want to see some big boys, all you have to do is listen to what we talk about. We talk about the front five of these two teams. We'll introduce you to all of that when we come back to Chapman Field in Mechanicsburg for the 6A state championship. It's LaSalle against Pittsburgh Central Catholic live on the PIAA Radio Network.
What is life-changing medicine? The discovery of cancer at the earliest possible stage, challenging limits and transforming the impossible into reality, or connecting people to doctors and specialists when they need it most. At UPMC, we believe life-changing medicine is all those things. Our goal is to change the world of medicine and the lives of those around us. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
Today's game is streaming on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. Text your friends and family who aren't at the game and invite them to watch live now at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android.
Thank you for over 40 years of trust. During those years, we've helped thousands of people just like you, our neighbors. We're here for you. We're here for our community. We're here for our region. The people that we worry about the most are the people who never hire an attorney. That's what the insurance company wants. When you do call us, you'll know that you have the firm with over 40 years of experience. And remember, there's never a fee unless we get money for you.
The Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters and the PIAA promote the highest ideals of good sportsmanship in interscholastic athletics. Always remember to respect student athletes, coaches, contest officials, and game administration to help promote a safe and positive game environment. Together, we can foster a community of good sportsmanship.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Welcome back to Chapman Field, again, the home of the Cumberland Valley Eagles and the home of the PIAA state playoffs. This obviously wraps up our coverage here on the PIAA Radio Network. And just to wrap things up, we started back on Thursday afternoon with the Single A Championship, which went to Clareton 35-3 over Bishop Guilfoyle. Thursday night, Southern Lehigh beats Twin Valley 43-21 to take their first ever state championship. They win the 4A title. Yesterday afternoon, Southern Columbia wins number 15 in the 2A title. They beat Farrell 43-22. And then last night, Roman Catholic beat Bishop McDevitt 28-6 to take the 5A title. This afternoon, the 3A title went to Avonworth. They beat Northwestern Lehigh 31-7. And the last crown and trophy will be handed out as this game comes to a conclusion. Again, Pittsburgh Central Catholic looking for its first state title since 2015. LaSalle, its first since 2009.
32 degrees, no wind to speak of, clear skies. We haven't had a lick of snow since Tuesday, and both teams ready to go.
I got to admit to you, when standing down the field before the game is downright balmy compared to what it's been over the course of the last couple of days. The flags were still. It's a good night for football on the first weekend in December for high school football in the final game of the season, as the LaSalle College Explorers will kick it off. Chris Heck is their kicker. And back deep for the Vikings will be Jaden Alexander and Chris Black. And they'll kick it off short, taken by one of the up men who takes a pop right into the LaSalle bench. And the Vikings will start it 1st and 10 from just around the 35 or 36 yard line once they determine where they spot that football out of bounds.
Looks like the 38, they moved it up a little bit. Yeah.
So 38 is where the Vikings will begin. Again, sophomore quarterback Owen Herrick, just 56% completion percentage on the season, but he has thrown for over 2,000 yards, 19 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Playing behind a huge offensive line. Matt Bowers, their center, who's headed to Princeton, 6'4", 300. The left guard is John Sasek, 6'6", 295, and a junior. Jake Murphy, the right guard, 5'9", 260. Left tackle is Jimmy Kalis, 6'6", 285, and a junior. And the right tackle, James Halter, 6'5", and 270, a future Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Herrick wants to throw for it on first down, looking to throw it outside, looking on the quick hitter, but it's broken up. Jaden Alexander was his intended target. They put Alexander out there on a slot, and a incomplete pass as Alexander takes a shot at second down and 10.
Going to be interesting to see how much they incorporate Chris Black here early on. Had 37 carries for 211 yards against Harrisburg. They went to him early on. And Herrick only threw 13 passes all last week.
Black sidecar left, and he's going to hit the handoff. A flag goes down as Black will take it for a run across the 40, but I think they're going to blow this play dead before it got started on a procedure penalty coming up.
Yeah, early on jitters here.
So the penalty will push the Vikings back 5 to the 33-yard line. Skill position players, Max Roman, Maceo Watkins, Aiden Nasaka, the 3 receivers for Pittsburgh Central Catholic. They'll use Bobby Machurik as a blocking tight end. Colson Gatton will come in more as a receiving tight end. And then you're going to have a bevy of backs back there, including Black, Jaden Alexander, and Roman Thompson, all with the sophomore quarterback Owen Herrick. Again, Black is the back back there right now on 2nd and 15. And Herrick wants to throw for it again. Gets away from a couple of tacklers, still on his feet, but he won't get away from the third as he's cut down back at about the 28-yard line. So LaSalle rising to the challenge on defense, cuts down Owen Herrick before he can get loose and drops it for a loss of 5.
Josh Simmons on the attack, on the tackle, got through one tackle, did Herrick, but could not get through another. One thing I'm interested to see in is the secondary for LaSalle. I haven't seen a 6'5" free safety in a long time. Joey O'Brien, who we're going to talk about a lot on offense, he's playing free safety.
So it's third down and 20 now coming up for the Vikings. And again, Herrick wants to throw, and he has to avoid an oncoming rusher and flips it out. The pass is caught by Alexander. He's going to get back just shy of the original line of scrimmage. So the penalty and the sack backs up the Vikings, and ultimately they're going to have to punt the football in their first offensive series.
Yeah, the Explorers are going to bring the house, it seems like, on just about every play, and they only got, after losing all that yardage, only got 8 on that play, and here's the punt team.
And the punter for the Vikings is Antonio DeFada. And back there to return is Owen Johnson for LaSalle. Punt, high, short kick. And they'll let it bounce. It'll take a little bit of a Viking roll and roll out of bounds shy of the 30-yard line. So the Vikings unable to pick up a first down and have to punt the football. And so now we will get a look at the LaSalle Explorers offense under senior quarterback Gavin Sidwar, who broke his coach's record as passing records at LaSalle, thrown for over 3,000 yards this season. His career passing yards over 7,000 yards, but 71% completion percentage on the season. He's thrown 38 touchdowns, which is also a record as well. The Explorers will start 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line. Sidwar will have 2 receivers to his right, and they'll shift 2 more out to the left. Now, actually 3, as Sidwar's in the backfield by himself. And they'll throw it out to Joey O'Brien on his first touch. O'Brien makes a man miss, but the knee went down as he tried to get away. He slipped away from a tackle, but the knee went down at the 30. So that's going to be a completed pass, but they're actually going to lose yardage on that little flanker screen back to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, we saw a similar situation in the earlier game where if your knee just grazes the ground, hey, your knee is down. Once it's down in high school football, you're marked down. So he tried to get out of a tackle there, did O'Brien. Had 2 tacklers right against him, but just couldn't break through fast enough. 3
receivers now to the left for Sidwar and 2 to the right. Straight drop and a deep drop, going to flick it out. Pass is through the hands and incomplete. I believe he was looking for Chima Auguste on the sideline, but it's through his hands and incomplete. It's going to be third down.
Give credit to Colson Gatton. He came on a delayed blitz on a stunt and had a hole wide open, and he just rushed. He went ahead and rushed Sidwar and forced him to throw it just out of the reach of the receiver.
Sophomore Owen Johnson, the senior we talked about, headed to Notre Dame. Joey O'Brien, 6'5" and 195. Chima Auguste, 6'1", 190 junior, and then Jimmy Mahoney, the senior, all a part of the receiver mix for Gavin Sidwar. Again, in a naked backfield on 3rd and 12. Going across the middle. The pass is caught by Mahoney. He takes a pop just shy or just around the sticks. We'll see if it's enough for a first down. It appears it is.
Yeah, they're going to give it to Mahoney as they move the sticks. He's got the first down. A nice. They had 2 receivers to the right side, 3 to the left side, and there looks like we're not going to see a tight end tonight. I think they're going to go air raid pretty much all night.
And J.P. Oates is also part of that mix. He's a future Virginia Tech Hokie. They consider him a tight end. He's actually lined up, I believe, now on the right side line of scrimmage, but he'll line up as a receiver as much. But he is on the right side of the line of scrimmage as the tight end here, with now Azir Nelson in the backfield with Sidwar for the first time, and Nelson's going to get the call here on 1st and 10. He's across the 45 and pushing forward, still pushing behind that big offensive line all the way out to midfield and maybe even into Pittsburgh Central Catholic territory. On the pushing and pulling contest, the Explorers win that one, and it's now in Pittsburgh Central Catholic territory at the Viking 49-yard line, a gain of 9.
Oh, the push, and keep pushing. And I think we're going to see a lot of those. We got a flag on the play. They threw it down at the 50. We'll see which.
This is no doubt going to be in the midst of a bevy of bodies, and it's going to be against LaSalle. It's going to be a personal foul penalty.
Conduct number 76 in the offense.
It's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Pittsburgh Central Catholic. So it goes at the end of the play.
And goes against LaSalle.
Against LaSalle. So it'll back the Explorers back up again. So it will be first down for LaSalle because they had picked up the first. No, it's not. It's second down. So they had not quite got enough for the first down. So they're going to be backed up to a 2nd and 16. Backed up to their own 36-yard line after the 15-yard personal foul penalty. So again, 3 to the left and nothing on the right. And here's Nelson finding some daylight. He's at the 40, 45 before he's dropped. And a pickup of a chunk of it back puts them in a manageable now, a little bit more manageable, anyhow, 3rd and about 7.
Neither team running tempo, but once the snap comes there, they've got really good speed. Jones just weaved his way between his tacklers and between the tackles and got up to the 45.
Owen Johnson splits to the left side with O'Brien in the slot. Mahoney split to the right side on 3rd and 7. And Sidwar play action fake. Has time. He's going to dump it off for Nelson. Needs to beat the man, and he will not beat that man. Going open field tackle by the middle linebacker, Colson Gatton, the future Duke Blue Devil. Makes the tackle, and the Explorers are going to be denied the opportunity to pick up a first down. Personal foul penalty is going to put the Explorers in a position where it's going to lead them to have to punt the football.
One thing I'm happy to see this weekend, I've seen so much soft coverage on the outside by the cornerbacks. Pittsburgh Central Catholic not afraid to play with, get their corners within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage. They're going for it.
They are going to go for it. It's 4th and 3 at the 48-yard line. Now a timeout's called before the snap of the football. The Vikings are going to call a timeout because the Vikings were assuming they were going to punt the football, so they had brought the punt team on, and all of a sudden LaSalle comes out and brings the punt team, keeps the quarterback out there. So it forces Pittsburgh Central Catholic to call a timeout. Now we'll see if Brett Gordon now tries a little gamesmanship and maybe sends his punt unit back out now, having forced the Vikings to burn an early timeout. And I already see Gavin Sidwar headed back towards the bench.
Yeah, and Sidwar is not the punter. I mean, we've seen a lot of situations where your smaller schools, you're playing 2, 3, 4 positions. Not the case here.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Sidwar does walk back towards the bench, and on comes Chris Heck to punt the football. So it forces the Vikings to use a timeout. Chris Black, Aiden Asaka are back deep to return the punt. So the Viking defense comes up with a stop to slow down the Explorer offense. It averages just shy of 40 points a game on the season to have to punt the football. A high kick that Black doesn't call for a fair catch. The ball is loose on the ground, and we'll see how it ultimately shakes out. And it looks like the Vikings have fallen on the football at about the 25-yard line.
They did throw a flag. I don't know. We couldn't call fair catch interference because there was no fair catch signaled. Are they saying, we need our rules analyst, is there a halo in high school football?
Well, that's going to be the question we will find out here. Is the referee Matt Freeze will give us the call. It's going to be against LaSalle.
Yeah, they are going to call.
Yeah, it's got to be interfering on the punt return, man. You have to give him a chance to catch the football.
Yeah, exactly. Even though there is no fair catch interference, you still cannot hit a guy who is about to catch the ball before he has the attempt to do so, even without the fair catch.
This is James Dotson, our referee in the booth here for us, and it is against LaSalle. So second penalty against the Explorers is going to help the Vikings and move it out now to the 40-yard line. 2 personal foul penalties against LaSalle. And as a result of that, the Vikings will start this drive at the 40. 7 minutes, 15 seconds left to go. Period number 1. We're scoreless in the 6A state championship game. Pittsburgh Central Catholic with the football, 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 40-yard line.
Going with an H-back in the backfield.
And they'll hand it off for Alexander, I believe. Once they pull the bodies off the pile. Again, they will use 3 different backs, including Alexander and Black. It's Black who is the man who has that carry, and he'll pick up about 3 to the 43-yard line. Call it second down at 7.
Went with sidecars to both sides, 1 receiver on each side, and the H-back, and Black ran behind the H-back and just ran into a wall of Explorers. Explorers going with just a 3, now a 4-man line. And shifting a lot of personnel.
Machurik is that H-back, and here's Black going the opposite way, trying to get outside on the right side, will not get outside. Great job of tracking him down and bringing him down by the defense of LaSalle, and chasing him down was Keenan Stahl, and brings him down at around the 43 or 40. They're going to spot him at the 45, so give Black 2 more yards on that carry, puts the Vikings in a 3rd and 2.
Uniform colors, if you're thinking for the Pittsburgh Central Catholic, the Minnesota Vikings uniforms of the 1970s with the all-white uniforms and the blue, the purple trim with some gold in, and on the other side for LaSalle College, they look kind of like Notre Dame, with the shiniest helmets we've seen all weekend.
And movement in line of scrimmage. I said it was 3rd and 2. It's 3rd and 5 after the 2-yard gain for Black, but movement at the line of scrimmage. Clearly, there was movement before the snap of the football. The question is who moved first?
I saw LaSalle move first, but Central Catholic's moving backwards.
They are indeed. So that'll be second penalty against Pittsburgh Central Catholic. So both teams guilty of a couple of penalties in this first quarter. Backs them up 5, puts them in a 3rd down and 10 as a result.
Getting those early game jitters out here. That's what we've come to expect with some of these games here this weekend.
Maceo Watkins, Aiden Nasaka split out to the left side. And that's the direction that Herrick is looking to throw. Looking for this pass across the middle. It's caught by Watkins into LaSalle territory. Fighting for more yardage all the way down to the 40-yard line. Maceo Watkins flips Pittsburgh Central Catholic into LaSalle territory.
They lined up the 2 receivers to the near side along with Nasaka and Watkins. They kind of did like a crisscross on the left side, and wide open was Watkins, and O'Brien had to come around and make the tackle.
Watkins, who has committed to the Naval Academy to continue playing football, picks up 20. Flips it from the Viking 40 to the Explorer 40. 5:20 remaining in quarter number 1. We're scoreless. And the Vikings now, we're going to come with a little bit more of a tight set here. The receiver is very tight to the line of scrimmage. And the give is to Black straight up the gut, but LaSalle's equal to the challenge, and the Explorers will toss him backwards at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Chris Black, the ball carrier.
Very good play. Cooper Heilig, 6'1", 215 senior at inside linebacker. He made the first stop, and Black just ran into a wall. No gain.
We'll give you the defense for the Explorers. Jamel Williams, Caleb Davidson, and Ryan Fandozzi up front. We've also seen the addition, as we mentioned before, Keenan Stahl playing at the defensive end. Sometimes it's a 3-man front, sometimes it's 4. And then the linebackers, Josh Simmons and Chima Auguste, outside with J.P. Oates and Cooper Heilig inside. The corners are Trey Hopkins and Lucas Johnson. The safeties are Joey O'Brien and Aiden Christie. Herrick wants to throw for it, steps up in the pocket, avoids the rush, finds it, looks for an open man, looking for Watkins, but it's too far away, can't get there. Hopkins in coverage for LaSalle, brings up 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, Herrick had to outrun one Explorer defender right away once he got the snap, and he was in shotgun. He had nowhere. His receivers weren't ready. They were well covered, and just threw it out of bounds, incomplete.
Shifting of personnel, which includes the change to tight end spot. I mentioned that Bobby Machurik is more the blocking tight end, and that Colson Gatton is more the receiving tight end, and he checks in with Machurik coming to the sideline. As Gatton is on the left side line of scrimmage, 1 receiver left and 2 to the right for Herrick. Looking right all the way on 3rd and 10, looking for a man, but he's going to overthrow his intended target, and incomplete. It was Max Roman, that intended target. Is going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, it just looked like he cut off the pattern a little too soon, or just wasn't expecting it and wasn't running full speed down the sideline. And he was Herrick was throwing towards the end zone when receiver was only at the 20-yard line.
So they'll go for it here on 4th down. 4-down territory at the Explorer 40. Now Roman Thompson will check in for the first time. He's definitely the difference maker in terms of his size. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds, linebacker who plays at running back as well. He's in there now maybe as an extra blocker for Herrick in the backfield. He is sidecar right with 2 receivers to the right and 1 to the left for Herrick. And he's going to pooch kick it. Going to just angle it towards the corner. Hits at the 20, rolls inside the 15, and will come to a stop at the 12. So they have the quarterback, Herrick, just pooch kick it to flip the field and bury LaSalle deep in their own territory. The Explorers will start 1st and 10 from their own 12 for their second possession, which will come with 4:07 left to play in quarter number 1.
28-yard punt, no return. It took a bounce of about 5 times and took a really nice roll before settling at the 12, and looks like we got a timeout.
Media timeout on the field. First quarter, 4 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless. Pittsburgh Central Catholic, LaSalle. We come back with more on the PIAA Radio Network.
Becoming a champion is an incredible accomplishment, especially at a level as competitive as the PIAA. That's why the Faulkner Automotive Group proudly salutes the student athletes and their families for making it this far. When it's time to upgrade your vehicle, choose any of the 31 Faulkner dealerships in Philadelphia, Lancaster, Bethlehem, Harrisburg, or Mechanicsburg. You'll find award-winning teams doing business the right way and a fast and easy buying experience. Compare low prices on thousands of vehicles and find the one that's perfect for you. Faulkner, to be sure.
What is life-changing medicine? The discovery of cancer at the earliest possible stage, challenging limits and transforming the impossible into reality, or connecting people to doctors and specialists when they need it most. At UPMC, we believe life-changing medicine is all those things. Our goal is to change the world of medicine and the lives of those around us. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
4:07 left to go in the first quarter, and LaSalle on offense for the second time. The Explorers picked up a first down in their first series, but then a penalty set them back and ultimately had to punt the football away. With over 40 years of experience, Edgar Snyder Associates has seen every trick in the book. When you hire their law firm, they'll fight the insurance company every day to get you the money you deserve. They're available 24/7. Contact them at 1-800-94-EDGAR. First and 10 again for the Explorers from their 12 under senior quarterback Gavin Sidwar, who's going to hand it off to Azir Nelson. Nelson gets across the 15, fights his way to the 17 or 18. Nelson's at 5'9", 190 pounds, runs hard, and has shown that tonight. He's out to the 19-yard line, picking up 7.
Yeah, running hard and getting the good yardage. Just a really good job keeping the legs chugging. We've talked all weekend long about how the running backs who get to this level here, they just keep fighting for every yard. We saw it with Luca Dean last game, with Avonworth, and job keeps going along here for both sides here.
Owen Johnson, Jimmy Mahoney, and Joey O'Brien all split out to the right for Sidwar here on 2nd and 3, and it's a give back to Nelson, and Nelson will fight his way close to a first down. He needs to get to the 22, and that's about where he is. Explorers are saying it is a first down. The officials have not yet signaled that it is, and I think they're going to say he's short, call it 3rd and 1.
Yeah, they marked it about a yard, not even a yard. They're checking the measurement. They're saying, no, I want a referee. Matt Freese says, I want a measurement.
So a timeout for the officials' measurement. And Matt Freese, as Travis said, is our referee. Charlie Appleberry, our umpire. Eric Galliano, our head linesman. Line judge is Aaron Jamin. Field judge, Joe Jablonski. Side judge, Greg Shambaugh. And the back judge is Brian McDonald out of District 3. And they are calling the chain crew on. It gives us a chance to give you the front five for those LaSalle Explorers. Pittsburgh Central Catholic's got some big boys up front. LaSalle can match that with Jacob Jackson at 6'2", 270 at center. Chris Berneski, 6'3", 295 and a junior at left guard. Drew Sorge, 6'2", 290 and a junior on the right side. Danny Lawler, 6'3", 285 and a senior on right tackle. And left tackle, Grayson McHugh, 6'8", 285 and like James Halter on the opposite side for Pittsburgh Central Catholic. He, too, is a future Notre Dame Fighting Irishman. So there's 3 recruits for Notre Dame in this football game, one on each of the tackle sides of the line of scrimmage, in addition to Joey O'Brien, who split out on a slot receiver on 3rd down and 1. The chain crew agreed that the mark was short. They will give it to Nelson, and Nelson behind that big offensive line will push for what appears to be an Explorer first down.
Yeah, keep chugging those legs again. 2 yards on the gain. The defense, they had the 3 receivers here to the near side. They played one-man press. They played one-man soft, the other kind of right in the middle. But they ended up running to the opposite side and getting the first down just barely.
Mahoney will check back in now, as will J.P. Oates for the Explorers. Oates, 6'3", 225, and again, the tight end. But they will flip him out as a receiver, and that's exactly what it looks like they're going to do here, as he will come as the receiver. Actually, he is going to line up as the tight end on the left side. Now Mahoney will go in motion left side to right. Misdirection as they give it to Nelson on the counter. Nelson will dive across the 25 to at the 27-yard line, and a gain of 4 more for Azir Nelson.
Roman Thompson, one of the few players playing both ways here for Pittsburgh Central Catholic. He cheated up to the line of scrimmage to make a 5th man, and he followed Nelson to the outside, and he was the first one to trip him up.
Desmond Ortiz is now going to check in for LaSalle, as Mahoney also comes to the sidelines on 2nd down and 6. Johnson and Oates split out on the right side. O'Brien is slot left with Johnson with him. And Sidmore wants to throw for it. Has time, looking for the long ball, looking for O'Brien. And he gets pulled down, and a flag is coming. Joey O'Brien was the intended target. Did he actually catch that football laying on the ground? He did.
He caught it with just his left arm while being fouled.
He was pulled to the ground and somehow or another caught the football while he was all but laying on the ground. First down for LaSalle all the way down to the 30-yard line. Pass interference or not, O'Brien made the catch. Vikings are arguing with it that he didn't catch the football, and it looks like they're going to say he did not, because they are walking back the other way.
Pass interference.
But there is pass interference. So the catch apparently did not happen. Brett Gordon is looking for an explanation for that. He's saying he caught it. So the ruling has to be that the official said he did not hold on to the football. And so Brett Gordon is arguing the case that, well, did he catch it or didn't he? And now a couple of the officials are talking this over. And I'm going to have to assume that that's the case, that the catch was incomplete, but there was pass interference against Pittsburgh Central Catholic, so they'll take the penalty, which will give the Explorers a first down at the 43-yard line.
And they're still going to talk about it. The back judge is coming up to the referee, just
You guys got the spot?
and the microphones are still on.
Right. So now this might, when he's asking about the spot, then this means that the decision was he did catch the football.
We're going to get an explanation here.
Pass interference foul against the defense is declined. The result of the play is a good catch, first down.
There you have it. Hey. So they did say he did catch the football. So it's a first down for Salle in the Pittsburgh Central Catholic 31-yard line. So all of that was exactly what we said. The question was whether it was a catch or not. And ultimately the officials got together and said, yeah, I think he caught it. So it goes as a catch and a first down.
41 yards for O'Brien.
So Joey O'Brien with his second catch. The first one went for -2. This one goes for 41. And back on offense, and the handoff is to Azir Nelson. He fights for a couple inside the 30 to the 28 and a gain of 3.
Angelo Pugliano, a 6'2", 275 senior from his D tackle spot, makes the tackle and just only about a gain of 3.
To the 28-yard line, 2nd down and 7. Talking with Brett Gordon, who, again, was a great quarterback at LaSalle and then went on to set records at Villanova as a quarterback. And he was warming up, throwing the ball to Joey O'Brien. I said, hey, did Nova ever give you a receiver like that? He said, if they did, they'd still be chasing my records if I had a receiver like that. 2 on his left, 1 on his right for Gavin Sidwar, who broke Brett Gordon's records at LaSalle. 2nd down and 7 at the 28-yard line. O'Brien slot on the left. Mahoney split out on the right. Johnson split out on the left. Sidwar going to dump it for Mahoney. He's got the football at the 15 and dragged down at about the 14-yard line. A little slant in for Jimmy Mahoney and a 1st down for the Explorers.
And a heck of a catch by Mahoney. He was going one way. The ball was behind him. He reached both hands behind him, secured the ball, made the catch, and he got 14 yards in the first.
Travis said they were missing Mahoney the last couple of weeks because of injury, but he came back in a big way against North Penn last week on what will be the final play of the first quarter. After 12 minutes in the PIAA 6A championship game, LaSalle nothing, Pittsburgh Central Catholic nothing, but the Explorers are driving when we come back to Harrisburg after this on the PIAA Radio Network.
Thank you for over 40 years of trust. During those years, we've helped thousands of people just like you, our neighbors. We're here for you. We're here for our community. We're here for our region. The people that we worry about the most are the people who never hire an attorney. That's what the insurance company wants. When you do call us, you'll know that you have the firm with over 40 years of experience. And remember, there's never a fee unless we get money for you.
Fans, you can have it in white, chocolate, strawberry, or practically any flavor you like. It's the beauty of milk, and no other drink quenches a king-size thirst like milk. After practice, reach beyond the colas and other drinks and get your hands on a tall, cold glass of milk and enjoy. Whole milk, whole nutrition. The PIAA thanks the Allied Milk Producers of Pennsylvania for supplying our athletes with delicious chocolate milk for their bus rides home after today's championships.
If you think you can make the calls, become a PIAA official. Make some extra cash, stay in shape, and enjoy interscholastic sports, all while making a difference in your community. Head to PIAA.org for more information.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Welcome back as we get you set for quarter number 2 along with Travis Sparks. My name is Bob McCool. PIAA 6A state championship game. We start the second quarter with the Vikings and the Explorers scoreless, but after the pass play, the big hookup for Joey O'Brien, who made the circus catch, and then that little slant into Jimmy Mahoney. The Explorers have it 1st down and 10 at the Viking 14-yard line as we get set to start the second quarter. Sidwar warming up. He has completed 4 in a row.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here for the Explorers, and they're going to come out with a 4-receiver set. They're just going to have this one lone receiver here to the near side, Owen Johnson, and then they're going to stack everybody to the right side.
Mahoney split on the right, and O'Brien slot on the right. And the back in the backfield remains Desmond Ortiz, who was out there for the last couple of plays, giving Nelson a breather, and it's going to be Ortiz who gets the handoff, and he will not get out of his own backfield. Big-time play defensively for the Vikings. Coming up and making that play was Manny Regas off his defensive end spot, gets to him in the backfield, drops him for a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, we've seen some great speed here by this Pittsburgh Central Catholic defense, not only from Regas there, we've seen it from Gatton, we've seen it from Thompson. They love to pursue, and they're doing a very good job making tackles.
2nd and 15 as a result of the 5-yard loss, back to the 19 on the first play of the second quarter for LaSalle. Sidwar will now look to the sidelines what the play is. Johnson split to the left, O'Brien slot right, Mahoney split right, looking for a little slant in for O'Brien. That's the catch at the 15, and will fight his way to about the 11. Gain of 8 on the play, but after the penalty, LaSalle is now in a 3rd and about 7.
Yeah, O'Brien ran about a 6-yard button hook and just stopped, and Sidwar had it right in his breadbasket, and turned upfield, and there were 3 Viking defenders right there to hold him to just a couple yards.
Ashton Blatt, Manny Regas are the ends for the Vikings. Cole Bayer and Angelo Pugliano, are the tackles. Roman Thompson, Nick Karinga, the outside backers, Gatton and Coltonson Gatton and Nick Karinga are the outside backers with Roman Thompson in between. Sidwar play action fake, looking for the end zone. The pass is caught in the end zone. Touchdown. He finds Joey O'Brien. No, it's not Joey O'Brien. I believe that might be J.P. Oates who made the catch. Oh, I'll stand corrected again. It's Owen Johnson who makes the catch in a heavy traffic. Owen Johnson goes up high, comes down with a football from 11 yards out. Touchdown. Explorers on the board first.
Good protection that time from Sidwar. Again, had plenty of time to throw and spotted Johnson coming on a slant route and got him, you can call it a seam route too. He got it right as he got into the end zone, and a good touchdown for LaSalle.
11th pass reception of the season, first catch of the day for Owen Johnson. 39th touchdown toss for Sidwar, and the extra point by Chris Heck is good. 10 minutes, 32 seconds remaining in the first half. Explorers on the board first, 7-0 LaSalle when we come back to Cumberland Valley High School right after this on the PIAA Radio Network.
Cornerstone Business Graphics is proud to be a preferred vendor of the PIAA and offer custom wearables, promotional items, signage, banners, and so much more. Cornerstone is also home to MarketLogo.com, your source for online school store needs. School stores are a great way to raise funds and promote school spirit. Cornerstone is your one stop for all your school's promotional gear. Check us out at cbizgraphics.com. It's Cornerstone Business Graphics.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
A 10-play, 88-yard drive for the Explorers. Ate up over 5.5 minutes of the clock, and they're on the board first. Here's Chris Black on the return for the Vikings across the 10, 20, 25. Still on his feet across the 30, and that's about as far as he'll go is the 35. So the Vikings now trailing in the football game with 10 minutes and change remaining in the first half. We'll start first and 10, right about the 36-yard line is where they'll start this drive.
Last time Pittsburgh Central Catholic had the ball, they had a good drive going, but then 2 incompletions to finish up, and then a punt of 28 yards, which was actually a pooch punt by Owen Herrick, and ended up LaSalle. It didn't matter the bad field position; they still ran the field.
Herrick, with those 2 incompletions that Travis mentioned, now 2 for 5 to start this football game. Just 51%, 56% completion percentage on the season. A little hook up here, and it's a quick hitter. And the pass caught across the 40-yard line, and before eventually getting bumped down, and that's Maceo Watkins on the catch. Watkins gets pulled down at about the 42-yard line, a gain of 6 on first down.
Yeah, just a quick out route. Just make a few steps, turn around. There's the ball. Herrick didn't even look to the right side where he had 1 or 2. Black was going in motion to the right side and decides to throw it to Watkins for a good gain.
Watkins, Nisaka stacked on the left side. And the give up the gut going nowhere against the LaSalle defense. The Explorers shut down the run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it for Chris Black.
Another one of the Pittsburgh Central Catholic, another one of these teams that when they get right to the line of scrimmage, they know what's going to happen. They usually go on just a 1 count and then snap it right away. We've seen that a couple times this weekend by many of our teams.
Max Roman split to the right side, and now Aiden Nisaka will join him on the right side, leaving Watkins as the lone receiver on the left side. Again, Black remains the back of the backfield on now 3rd down and 4. Colson Gatton shifts from tight end right side to left. Now Nisaka goes in motion as well, right side to left, and that's where Herrick is looking. He's going to throw it underneath for Black. He's got the first down and then jumps out of bounds right around the midfield stripe. But they just dumped it off for Chris Black. He gets the first down, and another set of downs coming up for the Vikings at around midfield.
Yeah, good clear-out route. They had the 2 receivers coming, and you said Nisaka was coming across the formation to the left side. It took all the defenders down the field and left Black wide open.
Gain of 6. They spotted at the 48. They go back to the ground game. Black gets to the line of scrimmage. It gets pushed backwards and then eventually brought down as well.
There was a flag. He probably got tackled illegally. I guess the easiest swing would be to say it could be a horse collar, it could be a face mask. It's going to be one of the two, and it's going to benefit Pittsburgh Central Catholic.
And if so, to put the Vikings into LaSalle territory once they walk off the penalty. The question will be how severe is that penalty? We're going to find out in a moment. Personal foul. That's the third personal foul penalty against the Explorers in this football game. 3 penalties for LaSalle, all of them personal foul penalties. And the Vikings will welcome the 15 yards. It'll push them down to the LaSalle 37-yard line.
Deepest penetration so far tonight for Pittsburgh Central Catholic.
Take it any way you can get it right now. The Vikings trailing by 7 with 8:44 left to go in the first half. Herrick wanting to throw for it. He has 2 receivers on the right side, throwing to the corner where nobody is. Roman went deep. Nasaka went underneath, and Herrick just kind of threw it in between both.
Yeah, Nasaka, and we have an injured LaSalle Explorer there. Nasaka went only about 10 yards in his pattern and just could not threw it where you could. It wasn't going to be called grounding, but nowhere near a receiver.
So there is a LaSalle player who's shaken up on the play. So that's the stoppage right now with 8:37 left to go in the first half.
And it's not a cramp.
No, we had a lot of that this afternoon in the AAA game. We're going to speculate on who that LaSalle player is till we know for sure. So a stoppage right now for the injury timeout. The training staff go out to look at him, as does Brett Gordon, the head coach for LaSalle.
That's J.P. Oates, who's in there at inside linebacker, also plays tight end.
Right.
6'3", 225 senior. Up, he's sitting up, and now he's going to get up.
There you go. So he'll get off the field under his own power, which is a good thing. Oates, who has committed to play for James Franklin at Virginia Tech. Walks off the field under his own power, so that's a good thing. He was involved at the line of scrimmage. He was chasing on the rush in on Herrick, so I'm not quite sure what happened to him in the mix of bodies. But walks off the field in his own power, but as Travis said, that's 2 losses. That's the thing about high school football, and certainly with certain players. It's not just an injury. It's an injury on 2 sides of the football with a lot of these guys playing, a number of players who play both ways. 2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass for the Vikings. Saka will split out on the right side. Gatton is a slot on the right with Watkins split left. Now Gatton goes in motion, but a whistle before the snap, and there's going to be a timeout for LaSalle. So the Explorers burn a timeout here. I'm not sure what Brett Gordon didn't like, but he's going to call a timeout here. First timeout called by LaSalle comes with 8:37 left to go in the first half. So something about the way the Explorers were set up defensively made LaSalle a little bit uneasy. I asked Brett Gordon before the game about changing up from going to being an assistant, where again he was the offensive coordinator with his dad for a long time, for 9 seasons at LaSalle from 2006 to 2014, and now is back as the head coach. He said, it's different, but it's not different. He said, I'm still calling the offense. I'm still the offensive coordinator. I said, you still call the plays? He said, yeah, I just can't give it up.
That's probably the only case I've heard of a father-son team making it to state championships in a different year as head coaches.
And his father did a great job with this program for a while, passed away a couple years ago. Brett said he misses him every day, but thinks about him all the time, and happy to be carrying on his legacy now, taking over. And, of course, Brett's son, Luke, is also in the mix. That was one of the impetuses to help bring him back. His son was in 8th grade when he took the job. He's now a sophomore backup quarterback. He's also the holder on place kicks for LaSalle as they, again, try to run it off tackle to the Vikings, and nothing happening there as Chris Black has stood up. Vikings having a tough time trying to run the football. It's going to be 3rd down and 10 for Pittsburgh Central Catholic.
Yeah, just looking at some of these rushing attempts here on the night. 3 yards, 2 yards, 0 yards. And then again here in this drive, 0 yards and 0 yards.
We'll see if Ryan Lahmeyer switches it up. Again, they've used 3 different backs over the course of the season. Roman Thompson and Jaden Alexander. It's been pretty much all black so far in this one. As Herrick drops deep, he has time this time. Looking downfield, the ball is incomplete. He had a man wide open in the end zone. He did not see him. He went instead and it was broken up to the corner by the pylon.
Herrick's pass intended for number 40, Colson.
He was looking for his tight end Gatton. It's incomplete. It's 4th down.
Yeah, had a couple men on that side, but totally it was looking that way for the most part, but totally missed the wide open receiver. 10 to go here. They got to get to the 27 for a first down, and looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field.
Zach Gleason now will check in as a receiver. He split out on the right side.
They pooch it again.
The pooch kick, and it hits at the 2, the 1, and then rolls into the end zone. So it worked before, but this time it does not work as they try to pin LaSalle deep again. Of course, the Explorers did get the ball at the 12 and then drove down the field 88 yards for the lone score in this football game. This one will roll into the end zone for the touchback. 7:50 left to go in the first half, and the Explorers are going to go back on offense. This time they'll start at their own 20 after the touchback on the punt.
Yeah, LaSalle's committed some penalties, some what would be costly penalties if it mattered on the scoreboard, but Pittsburgh Central Catholic just has not been able to turn those into points.
So Gavin Sidwar, the 6'3", 195-pound future Missouri Tiger, will go back to work with the offense from their own 20. Mahoney is going to split out on the left side. Looks like O'Brien is there with him. That's actually O'Brien going in motion from right side to left. And to give up the middle on the carry is Azir Nelson. Nelson back into the game, carries it for a couple to the 22-yard line. Call it second down and 8.
Yeah, we're seeing watching right to left here. O'Brien was coming to us, and Nelson ran away from the motion and just was only able to get 2 on the play.
Trey Hopkins is in there now as a receiver for LaSalle. That might be in the absence of J.P. Oates. I've not yet seen Oates check back in, shaken up in that last series. He is still on the sidelines being looked at by the trainers, trying to get himself worked back in as the Explorers will send 3 to the left and 1 to the right. Sidwire rolls out, chased out to his left. He's going to run it himself. 25-30 will get out of bounds and then take a shot as he does so. And this is going to be 15 yards added onto it as the Viking defender, Nick Kugaringa, came up and gave him a shove after he was already out of bounds.
Yeah, 16 yards on the gain for the first down. There was nobody in the area code. He got out of bounds at the 38, but right as he hit the white, then Kuringa with the extra push, and now that's going to move the ball into Viking territory.
So the 4th penalty against Pittsburgh Central Catholic. The run, as Travis said, was a 16-yard pickup for Sidwar, and then add 15 more on the personal foul penalty. And he also did it right into the LaSalle bench, which is never a good idea in any regard. So that's going to push it across the 50 to the Viking 46-yard line. So theoretically, it's a 31-yard difference on the 16-yard run plus the 15-yard penalty. And now the Explorers in Viking territory inside of 7 minutes left to go in the first half. Owen Johnson will come out on the right side with Trey Hopkins. Now Desmond Ortiz is in there as the back. And Sidwar's in trouble and he's going down. The Vikings respond and they're going to get a sack. They're going to drop the quarterback back on the other side of the 50, back and around the 47-yard line.
Yeah, great job by the Vikings. Ashton Blatt, a 6'4", 230 defensive lineman. He was the first one in there, wrapped his arms around and just swallowed him up right at the 47. So that pushes them back into their own territory.
7 yards back to a 2nd and 17 coming up now at the 47-yard line. First sack for the Viking defense, trying to rise to the challenge here. Again, Johnson and Hopkins will split out on the right side with Ortiz and O'Brien on the left for Gavin Sidwar. Again, checks to the sidelines for Brett Gordon what he wants to run. Azir Nelson, the back in the backfield, side corner is right. Now the receivers are kind of a little bit confused here, and it's going to lead to a timeout. The 2 receivers on the left side, Ortiz and O'Brien, were kind of confused as to where they were supposed to be, and so LaSalle is going to take its second timeout. Going to do so at 6:05 left to go. We'll take a timeout with the Explorers. They lead at 7-0 when we get back after this on the PIAA Radio Network.
Today's game is streaming live on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. You can relive all the incredible moments from today's matchup on demand at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android.
Baron rings are the official championship ring of the PIAA. For more information or to order your custom championship rings, please go to baronrings.com. That website, once again, is baronrings.com to order your custom championship rings today.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
So the Explorers only have one timeout left. They're backed up to a 2nd and 17 at their own 47-yard line. As Mahoney goes in motion out of the backfield, Sidwar fakes one way, goes the other way, looking for Johnson, and it'll look to make the over-the-shoulder catch, and it comes loose inside the 10-yard line. Owen Johnson leaped to try to bring it down, but as he did so, the ball comes and falls incomplete.
Yeah, Sidwar threw up a rainbow. We've seen a lot of the quarterbacks here this weekend just throw up the rainbows. We had, no wind to worry about, so it's a timing pattern. And you just throw it up as high as you can and just try and get the arc just right and the timing just right, and just out of the hands of Johnson, incomplete.
Snaps a string of 6 straight incompletions now for Sidwar. Puts the Explorers, more importantly, now in a 3rd and 17. They'll send 3 receivers, including O'Brien, to the right side and 2 to the left for Sidwar, who's in the backfield by his lonesome. To step up in the pocket to avoid the rush. He's got room, rolls himself out, looks to throw it deep, an over-the-shoulder catch attempt is going to be out of bounds.
Sidwar's pass intended for number 12.
Sidwar,
He was looking for Geist, and it was incomplete, out of bounds.
If he wanted to, he could have taken it about half the distance that they needed to. Maybe could have gotten 9 or 10 yards, but he went for the home run, and it was double coverage down there, and here comes the punt team.
Chris Heck will come on to punt the football, so the Viking defense comes up with the stop. And they're going to have time and a couple of timeouts left to work with here as they get the football back, trailing by a touchdown. Vikings averaging over 42 points a game. LaSalle averaging just shy of 40 points a game. But so far, through a period and a half, this has been a defensive tussle. Heck will punt it away. Black and Asaka, the return man, and it kind of hit it off the side of his foot a little bit. Let's see where they're going to spot this football. It's not going to be a very good punt.
We're down to, that's an 8-yard punt, 45-yard line.
So that's going to help the Vikings cause, and that's going to also lead us to a media timeout with 5:45 left to go in the first half. It's 7-0 LaSalle. Pittsburgh Central Catholic has the football close to midfield. When we get back after this on the PIAA Radio Network.
Fans, celebrate the holiday season with Wise Markets by checking out their amazing seasonal savings. Don't forget to redeem your points for additional free or reduced Wise quality items, all thanks to their newly improved holiday program. If you're looking to round out your holiday meal, save over $20 on select Wise quality items with their Holly Deals digital coupon program. But if you're busy with guests, why not order an entertaining platter? Wise customers can even earn 2 times the Wise Reward points on party platters, custom cakes, and party pizzas. Find all the great deals at your local Wise Market or at wisemarkets.com. Eat better, spend less, that's Wise. The PIAA would like to thank Preferred Headwear and Headbrand supplier Outdoor Cap and Junk Brands for their continued sponsorship of PIAA athletics. Their products are built to perform with style from the sidelines to the stands. Visit junkbrands.com to learn more.
You're listening to high school football on the PIAA Radio Network. We pause for 10 seconds to give stations along the network a chance to give identification.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
First and 10 for the Vikings at their own 45-yard line. They are going to hand it off, and Roman Thompson is in there as the back for the first time, and he is free and clear. 35, 30, 25, and down close to the 20. We mentioned that there are 3 different backs who have been used for the Vikings. Roman Thompson gets his first chance, and it's a big one for the Vikings.
34 yards and a first down. He just rumbled right up the middle. 6 foot, 200-pound junior, and they're going tempo.
From the 21-yard line, right back to Thompson, who will bull his way this time inside the 20 and down to about the 17-yard line. Thompson, the junior, 6 foot, 200-pounder, more known for what he does on the defensive side, but he is a factor on the offensive side, and in fact is the leading rusher on the season for the Vikings. He'll now check out and Black back in on 2nd and about 6.
We'll see how effective the offense is now with because they've tried with Black, they've tried with Alexander with not too much success in the ground game. This is the we keep saying deepest penetration of the night for the Vikings, and we'll see how much they can do with it.
Maceo Watkins will split out on the left side. Aiden Asaka split out on the right. Doesn't matter. They're going to go to Black, who dances his way through some traffic and breaks free and will take it into the end zone. Tough running for Chris Black, and he takes it home. Black is 5'7", 160 pounds, but he ran a lot bigger than that on that 17-yard touchdown run.
And a fleet of foot. He had to jump out of 2 tackles, some offensive line activity right in front of him. Couldn't tell if it was a Viking or an Explorer, but he jumped, and then he had nothing but green in front of him, and he scores.
So the Vikings now an extra point away from tying up the football game. Sammy Machurik is the holder for Antonio DeFata, the junior place kicker. Snap good, hold is down, and we are tied. 4:48 left to go in the first half. The LaSalle Explorers 7, the Pittsburgh Central Catholic Vikings 7. You're listening to the PIAA 6A Championship on the PIAA Radio Network.
Snyder and Associates. Their competition isn't other law firms. It's the insurance companies. If you've been hurt in an accident, watch out. Insurance companies will short sell you. They will deny your claim. They will do anything they can to avoid paying you. With over 40 years of experience, Edgar Snyder and Associates has seen every trick in the book. They'll fight the insurance company every day to get you the money you deserve. They're available 24/7, so contact them now at 1-800-94-EDGAR. And remember, there's never a fee unless they get money for you.
Transform your field with Digital Scoreboard's massive outdoor LED displays. Designed to handle any weather, they deliver bold visuals for scores, replays, and sponsor ads. Visit digitalscoreboards.net to get started.
Owen Johnson, Jimmy Mahoney back deep for the Explorers to receive the kickoff. As Chris Black takes it 17 yards for a touchdown to finish off a quick 3-play drive for the Vikings. And the kick will boom its way into the end zone. Big leg there for DeFata.
That went halfway to Perry County.
So a touchback for the Explorers. And so Chris Black gets the touchdown, as we said, a 3-play drive, but it was the big run by Roman Thompson that really set things up after the short punt by LaSalle.
Yeah, there had been really no success in the run game for the Vikings, but finally once Thompson gets in, and he got a high five from one of his defensive players right there just now. The 2 gains there, 34 and 4 yards, and that set the stage for Chris Black.
As I said, Thompson makes the vast majority of his impact as the middle linebacker in that Viking defense, but he is their leading rusher on the season, but his first carry was a big one as the Explorers get it back starting from their own 20. And a little flanker screen pass for O'Brien. O'Brien 25-30. Joey O'Brien to the 35 before he's finally brought down. And a big open field tackle there for the Vikings, or Joey O'Brien might still be running. Seamus Mahan stops him at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, I like the shifty feet on Joey O'Brien. Made about 3 or 4 different moves to get to the middle of the field. 17 yards later, he's got a first down.
It's 4th catch of the day for O'Brien. And here's a give for Nelson. Nelson fights his way across the 45, a first down, and still on his feet across midfield. Azir Nelson again with some tough running, and the Explorers will move the chains a second straight play.
Yeah, another double-digit gain there, and it took about 5 Vikings to bring Nelson down. Just a great job of running and quick tempo. It's not a no huddle. They huddle up, but once they're set, they go and they move fast.
To the 15-yard gain to the 48-yard line of the Vikings. Inside of 4 minutes left to go in half number 1. Tied at 7. Nelson and O'Brien split out to the right side for the Explorers. And this one is Johnson on the little flanker screen. He'll fight his way inside the 45 and bump down at around the 42 or 43 where they spot it'll be the 43 and a gain of 5.
Yeah, just a quick out route. Just let the athlete do the work, and brings up gets half the yards that you need. So 2nd and 5.
Explorers have Ryan Fandozzi in there as a tight end. Again, that's in the absence of J.P. Oates, who's still being tended to on the Explorers sideline. So they go with a little bit bigger, more of a blocker in there as the tight end. And that's exactly where Nelson will run behind, trying to fight for the tough yards, and he'll do the rest himself. Still on his feet, push from behind all the way down close to the 30-yard line. Another Explorer first down.
Yeah, even though they went press coverage on Joey O'Brien down here, they laid off on the coverage on the other receiver, which was Owen Johnson here on the near side, but then they decide just to go run up the middle, and the legs just keep churning, and 13 yards later, he's got another first.
At the 30-yard line, 2 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in the first half. The Explorers, remember, only have one timeout. Johnson slot left, O'Brien split left. As Fandozzi stays in there, more of an H-back now on the right side. Now he'll shift to the left. Off the left tackle's hip. High snap, Sidwar hands it off for Nelson, trying to turn the short corner, gets himself some daylight, and works his way inside to about the 25, and another 5 yards for Azir Nelson.
Right guard Drew Swords, right tackle Danny Lawyer. You got to give them a lot of plaudits this time around, because they're just following the blocks. Nelson's being patient and getting the yardage.
I asked Brett Gordon about the fact that Pittsburgh Central Catholic has the reputation of that big offensive line. And I said, yours is pretty big too. He said, yeah, and our kids kind of know that. I mean, but Pittsburgh Central Catholic, their offensive line is 6'4", 282 across the front 5. Well, LaSalle's 6'4", 285. So virtually the same size. It's just one has a little bit more of a reputation than the other. 2nd down and 5 for the Explorers at the 25. Back to Nelson. Bounces off. No, he doesn't bounce off a tackle. He cannot get free. The Vikings had him from behind. Coll had him by the shirt and said, "You are not getting away." Holds him to no gain.
Yeah, he held him up just long enough so the rest of the Vikings can come in and make the tackle, resulting in now they got 3rd and long here.
So the first time they really shut down Nelson at all on his 11th carry of the first half, and the clock continues to run for LaSalle with 1:20 and counting remaining in the first half. Explorers now in a 3rd and 5 at the Viking 25.
Not the explosive first half that we've seen from almost all the games today, but they're very competitive here.
So O'Brien split out on the left. Owen Johnson slot on the left. Doesn't matter. They're going back to Azir Nelson. Lowers the shoulder, fights his way inside the 20, and if he got there, he got a first down. Looks like he has just enough right at the 20 is where they're going to spot it. And another tough run for Azir Nelson that leads to a first down.
The Vikings' Seamus Mahan tried to go low on him, but they can't tackle him low. You've got to meet him and square him up. He was able to get 2 more yards and just past the marker.
The Explorers need to hustle a little bit. The clock is now at 45 seconds. Again, they only have the one timeout left. They're still at the 20-yard line, 1st down and 10. Sidwar, play action fake, looking for O'Brien, but there was a collision between Nelson, O'Brien, and the defender, all trying to get to the football, and it's an incomplete pass.
I was wondering how soon it was going to be before they went to Johnson here, at least on the near side. They decided to go to O'Brien, ran interference with Johnson, but just everybody got caught up. And even Sidwar, he might have thrown it a little too low.
Meantime, defensively, Dominic Perella was trying to fight his way through all that traffic to get his hands on the football, so it ultimately falls incomplete. Does stop the clock at 36 seconds now left to go in the first half. Tied at 7. Explorers are in a 2nd and 10 at the Viking 20-yard line. O'Brien now the receiver, single by himself on the left side, with Mahoney checking in on the right side with Johnson. Sidwar has time, steps up, going to dump it off for Azir Nelson. Nelson needs to make a man miss. Will get dragged down at about the 15-yard line. good open field tackle by Nick Karinga to wrap up Nelson after a gain of about 5. Are the Explorers going to try to burn a timeout here? No, I believe there must be a flag on the play.
Threw the flag at the 15, and it's against the Vikings.
Oof. So now Brett Gordon's going to try to figure out, is that going to be after the play? What's my call here? The play went for 5.
The penalty would be, I believe, for 5. So
10.
Where's that 10?
It's a hold, yeah. So obviously you take the penalty because it's a bigger distance.
And it should be a first down if you go that route.
Correct. So I think that Brett Gordon is getting all his options now from the officiating crew and Matt Freeze.
It needs to get confirmation of whether it's from the end of the play, the 10 yards, or if it's from the previous spot. Now, a hold on the defense should be from the previous spot, 10 yards, and it will result in a first down, 1st and goal to 10.
That's exactly what it's going to be. They're going to put it at the 10-yard line on the hold against the Vikings. 5th penalty of the first half against Pittsburgh Central Catholic, and another set of downs for the Explorers. 1st and goal to go at the 10. Clock at 29 seconds left to go. So now if you're Sidwar, you're going to look if you're going to throw the football. If you don't see anybody open, just airmail it out of the back of the end zone. You got 1 timeout to work with.
And if you're the offensive line, you've got to hold your blocks for at least 2-3 seconds to give Sidwar a chance to throw and get your receivers open.
Hopkins comes in as the 4th receiver. He's slot on the right with Mahoney split out. Sidwar looking the other way, looking for the underneath route for Johnson. Did he make the catch? He did at the 5. The clock is still ticking. They're going to try to get to the line of scrimmage and probably try and spike it here. Or will they try to run a play? It's at the 5-yard line. He does spike it and stops the clock with 13 seconds left to play in half number 1. The line of scrimmage is now actually the 6-yard line to be 2nd down, goal to go.
And you got to think also, if you don't make it here, if you don't make it on 3rd down here, and if you got this is 3rd down here, do you go field goal? You get the points on the board.
So Johnson's the catch to Johnson went for 4 yards to the 6 is where they're spotting it, and then they spike the football to stop the clock. 2nd down, goal to go from the 6.
3rd down.
They didn't even start
actually 3rd down. It should be 3rd down. Now they just changed it. I thought it should have been 3rd down, and it is after the completed pass. So it's 3rd down, goal to go, and now they're saying it's at the 5, which is about right. It's between the 5 and the 6. 3rd down, goal to go from the 5, and now we're going to get timeout called. Ryan Lehmeyer running a wind sprint down the far sideline to try to call that timeout before LaSalle could get the snap off. So the Vikings will burn their 2nd timeout with 13 seconds left to go. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll find out how the Explorers do when we come back after this on the PIAA Radio Network.
What is life-changing medicine? The discovery of cancer at the earliest possible stage, challenging limits and transforming the impossible into reality, or connecting people to doctors and specialists when they need it most. At UPMC, we believe life-changing medicine is all those things. Our goal is to change the world of medicine and the lives of those around us. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
So again, here's the situation. 3rd down, goal to go at the 5-yard line for the LaSalle Explorers. The Pittsburgh Central Catholic Vikings burned their 2nd timeout, so technically both teams still have 1 timeout left to go. 7-7 is our score. 13 seconds left to go in the first half. And the Explorers 3rd and goal at the 5. Interesting, Desmond Ortiz is in there as the back in the backfield. Azir Nelson, who's helped get them to this spot. Not out there right now as the back. Sidwar looking for a man underneath. The pass is caught. Touchdown, LaSalle. Owen Johnson for the 2nd time finds the end zone for LaSalle.
3 receivers to the right side. Slot receiver makes the way across, and Johnson had nobody near him and gets the touchdown. And we don't even have to worry about field goal here. Touchdown from 5 yards out.
With 7 seconds left to go in the half, the Explorers regain the lead as they use the clock wisely and ultimately force Pittsburgh Central Catholic to burn a 2nd timeout. And now Chris Heck will come on to attempt the extra point. I mentioned Luke Gordon, Brett's son, is the holder, and Heck's extra point is good. So with 7 seconds left to go, the Vikings will get the football back, but not much time and only that 1 timeout left.
So 14-7, scoreboard inadvertently saying 40-7 right now. It's not the blowouts like we've seen this weekend. This has been the closest game all weekend long. We've gotten our share of defensive plays. We've gotten a good share of offense here, and it was a little helter-skelter right down there at the end, trying to get the goal-to-go situation for LaSalle, but ultimately they get the score. And now we've got just the kickoff and maybe one play to worry about.
So the 40th touchdown pass of the season for Gavin Sidwar. And again, finds Owen Johnson for the second time in this game in the end zone. His 12th touchdown pass reception of the year. And the Explorers are on top 14-7. Don't forget, the Explorers deferred. They're going to get the football to start the third quarter. So I would imagine that unless the Vikings get a big run back here, probably going to end the half. We'll see if Ryan Lehmeyer decides to take a shot here before the end of the half. And I think what happens on this kickoff may make or break that decision, as Heck will kick it off. And taken by one of the up men at about the 25-yard line across the 30-31, and that's as far as they'll go. So not a whole lot on the return. The Vikings will have it, and they may not even have the opportunity to run a play as the clock has hit zeros. At the end of 2 quarters, the LaSalle College Explorers on top of the Pittsburgh Central Catholic Vikings 14-7. We'll take a timeout. When we come back on the PIAA Radio Network, James Dodson will break down the first half, and then we'll spend some time with the executive director of the PIAA, Dr. Robert Lombardi, all when we come back on the PIAA Radio Network.
Today's game is streaming live on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. You can relive all the incredible moments from today's matchup on demand at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android.
It's interactive ice cream fun at the Turkey Hill Experience, located in Columbia, Pennsylvania. Learn how ice cream is made, invent and taste your own ice cream flavors in our Taste Lab. Milk our mechanical cows, star in your own commercial. Get unlimited free samples of iced tea and ice cream. Visit turkeyhillexperience.com for more information about the Turkey Hill Experience. The PIAA is honored to have St. Luke's University Health Network, a nationally recognized entity in sports medicine, as the official medical provider of the PIAA Championships. St. Luke's University Health Network is a top 100 major teaching hospital which provides care to athletes ranging from youth sports to professional athletes in Pennsylvania. St. Luke's Sports Medicine offers comprehensive athletic training, orthopedic care, physical therapy, and concussion management, plus sports performance training for individual athletes and teams. St. Luke's is proud to have been chosen to support the Champions of Pennsylvania as the official medical provider of the PIAA Championships.
The Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters and the PIAA, two community-focused organizations, are proud to be collaborating to provide Pennsylvanians free access to local high school sports broadcasts. To follow your schools, check your local TV and radio stations for coverage. Through the PAB and PIAA partnership, following Pennsylvania student athletes has never been easier.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Welcome back to Chapman Field at Mechanicsburg for the PIAA Football Championships. We are in our final game of 6 here on the PIAA Radio Network. And in the 6A championship game at halftime, it's the LaSalle Explorers 14, Pittsburgh Central Catholic Vikings 7, alongside Travis Sparks. My name is Bob McCool, and we are joined by the executive director of the PIAA. Dr. Robert Lombardi is what his official business card says, but he always says, I'm just Bob. So that's what we're going to call. But Dr. Lombardi, it is a bit of a different atmosphere for you here because you did announce that you are going to retire at the end of the calendar year. And I know it's bittersweet. Look, you've put in your time. You've been doing this for a long, long time. You've earned, obviously, the right to retire. But tell us a little bit about the decision to finally say, you know what, I'm going to step aside.
Well, I probably would have tried to do it at the beginning of the school year, before the beginning of the school year. But some of the issues were, I was just coming off my tenure with the NFHS as president. I had a lot of travel in. And when we came back from our national meeting, we were right into our July board meeting. So that morphed right into our officials conference. So there wasn't really a lot of time. And I didn't want to put the board or the staff in a position that we were doing something knee-jerk. So we all sat down and talked it out and talked it through and said, what do you think our best timing would be? And we all agreed upon the end of the calendar year because we would get through the fall sports season. Some folks in our office had other things that they were doing as well, and that would help there with their schedules. And it also gave me some time to adjust and inform the board and give them a systemized, step-by-step, forward-thinking plan that they could look at and then sit down with the staff and see what they wanted to do. It was very important to me that the board would accept my recommendation that Mark would be my successor, and Mark Byers was named that at the October meeting. And after they accepted that, then they said, then I asked them if it would be acceptable to them that I would leave at the end of the year. Now, I've had some people pull my chain a little bit and said, why did you do it that way? I said, well, if they didn't accept Mark, I wasn't leaving.
Well, you kind of answered my next question already, because the answer to the question is if you had any doubts, knowing that you're passing the baton to Mark Byers makes the decision a little bit easier.
It absolutely does. He's been with us. He's in his 26th year. He knows our business and our state, our Constitution and bylaws as well, if not better than anyone in the state. And he's a tremendous leader and recognized nationally. Our staff, and Bob, you know them, because you've been around all of us. When I go out the door here, we're getting very young very quickly. and
well, I didn't want to say that you were pushing the envelope, but.
but the energy level and the intelligence level and the ability to do things and get things done, our folks are they're second to none. And I really believe, after traveling around the country, I'm very selfish. I think our staff is probably one, if not the best in the country.
Dr. Bob, looking at the last couple decades, since I've been involved with PIAA since 1999, I've gotten to see you on pretty much every big sporting event. Yeah, yes, football, wrestling, basketball, top-notch tournaments, baseball, softball too, plus with television and now with us in radio. Let's not leave out the other sports. I've noticed a nice growth at the amount of sports that PIAA has a hand in now. Sport near and dear to my heart, bowling is huge here in central Pennsylvania, out in Pittsburgh as well, and it's growing. Also, the addition of girls flag football this year. There's been a lot that has been added to your plate and the PIAA's plate since you've come aboard.
Yeah, well, I think the board has been very receptive to us taking a very hard look annually after every sports season with our sport representatives from each district and sitting down and not just saying, well, what did we do well, what did we not? It's more than that. What are we doing that's really good? What do we need to improve on? How can we make our championships better? And what do we need to grow the game in each sport? And I think that's important. And what you're going to see is we're expanding girls volleyball to 6 classes.
Okay.
Why?
Wow.
Because we're within 2 schools of having as many girls volleyball teams as we are basketball teams. That was almost unheard of. Girls volleyball is probably the fastest growing sport across the country.
The other piece of the puzzle, and what was a big piece of the job before you became the executive director and you're an assistant executive director, is you were in charge of officials as part of it. And the biggest piece that you have done, look, you guys have looked for, asked for, begged for, pleaded for more and more officials. You always need more. But one of the things was you started the idea of the officials convention in the summer that has started here and went to levels that you could never have imagined.
And Bob, you remember you're part of that. And this past summer, we've had over 1,000 registered officials attend for the 5th year in a row. Mm-hmm. We just celebrated our 30th year. And I'm so very, very proud of that because we're the largest gathering of sports officials, interscholastic high school sports officials in the country. And with Pat's leadership, and I don't know if he ever shared this with you, This summer, we went over 15,000 registrations from the first time I remember. When I came in 1988, in May of 1988, we had 7,999 registered sports officials. We've almost doubled it. And the other piece that's changed, when I came, probably 75% of our officials were teachers. Now 75% of our officials are non-teachers. So that dynamic has changed, and it's added to some challenges. And Pat's added the cadet or junior officials program. That's taken off. It's unbelievable how good that's working.
Well, and another piece of all of it is, and this is the most recent addition to what you're doing, and that's what we're doing, with the addition of the man standing here next, and Eric Thomas, who was the guy who kind of pushed the idea up upon you. You guys have been receptive to us, and that is the PIAA Radio Network, and your thoughts and your hopes moving forward for that.
Well, this has been very, very important to us because it's the first time we had a group come in and say, we want to be part of you and get your word out in a collaborative method that will highlight not only the schools, their athletes, our championships, but also the PIAA message and how good sports are for communities. That's what Eric's done. And he took the time to speak to the OHSAA Ohio because they have a genius there. He worked in Ohio State University for a number of years before he came to the association. And he knows how to set up a network where it will stand the test of time. Eric, to his credit, said, hey, Bob, how about if we do this? Talked to Mark and the staff, and we said, hey, let's have our Westwood one. And so we have an awful lot of hits, and we're doing it free, which is important.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
We're not trying to sell sponsors and corporate dollars or anything. This is something to provide a service to communities and to highlight our message. That's different than what we had before because people were being selfish for their dollars,
Correct.
not ours.
100%.
And archived as well, so we can go back and listen
Yes.
2 months from now, a year from now.
I'm
It's
really
wonderful.
proud of what you guys have done. I
Thank
can't
you.
thank Eric and Bob and you and yourself for all the stuff you've done for this weekend because it's been a labor of love.
Yeah, and I can speak from experience because, look, I work for a radio station that's been broadcasting high school sports forever. And the answer to that ultimately is there's less and less and less of us out there doing that. So by having this, now if those local radio stations aren't there to do it, we are here to provide that so that no matter where you are within the state or thanks to the internet, wherever you are outside the state, if you've moved away and you want to know what's happening in the football championships, the best, you can now listen to it and consume the product.
And I think what it does to me, the timing was perfect because we have a video streaming marriage with PCN now this year and the network. So PCN, of course, on cable, and I know they have their own streaming, but the NFHS network, which has over 1 million subscribers, is worldwide. So when that marriage came, Eric and I talked, we said, why don't we get the other side and we can possibly get the whole community across, not only here, but everywhere, like you've just said, and people can enjoy our events.
So it's a beautiful thing, and it's glad to have it. It's been a pleasure to work with you for all these many, many years. We wish you the best of retirement.
Thank you.
And I know we're not going to see you in a minute because you're not going to be around at all. I know that.
Well, listen, you might show up somewhere at a ski lift and tell your ride and say, that little guy over there with the limp and the bad uniform on looks familiar to me.
Yeah, I know I won't see you at a championship because you have earned the opportunity to take a couple of them off. Thank you for your time, your efforts, everything you've done for high school sports.
Salute.
Thanks,
you.
man.
You got it.
So much.
We're going to take a timeout on the PIAA Radio Network. More halftime. LaSalle 14, Pittsburgh Central Catholic 7 in the 6A final. More after this.
What is life-changing medicine? The discovery of cancer at the earliest possible stage, challenging limits and transforming the impossible into reality, or connecting people to doctors and specialists when they need it most. At UPMC, we believe life-changing medicine is all those things. Our goal is to change the world of medicine and the lives of those around us. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
Is college in your future? The Pennsylvania Higher Education Assistance Agency helps PA students and families navigate all things college, such as scholarships, grants, and loans. For more information on ways to plan and pay for college, visit PHEAA.org. That's PHEAA.org.
Believe it or not, at Edgar Snyder and Associates, their competition isn't other law firms. It's the insurance companies. If you've been hurt in an accident, watch out. Insurance companies will short sell you. They will deny your claim. They will do anything they can to avoid paying you. With over 40 years of experience, Edgar Snyder and Associates has seen every trick in the book. They'll fight the insurance company every day to get you the money you deserve. They're available 24/7, so contact them now at 1-800-94-EDGAR. And remember, there's never a fee unless they get money for you.
Welcome to the halftime show on the PIAA Radio Network. With a recap of the first half, here's James Dotson.
Just 2 quarters remain here in the 2025 football championships. A 14-7 lead for LaSalle College High School over the Central Catholic Vikings. 14-7, again, your halftime show. Your halftime score, excuse me. This is the halftime show here, an abbreviated one. Thank you again, Dr. Lombardi. Sorry, Bob, for joining us here for a nice conversation. And big thanks to him for making this PIAA radio network here come to fruition. Lots of advantages for LaSalle College, especially in the total yards. 201 yards versus just 94. They've run almost twice as many plays as well. And the big touchdown to end the first half, the second touchdown catch for Owen Johnson, making the big difference in this game. Owen Johnson got things on the board early in the second quarter after a scoreless first, after a long 11-play, 80-plus yard drive, capping off the first score of the game for the Explorers.
Sidwar play action fake, looking for the end zone. The pass is caught in the end zone. Touchdown. He finds Joey O'Brien. No, it's not Joey O'Brien. I believe that might be J.P. Oates who made the catch. Oh, I'll stand corrected again. It's Owen Johnson who makes the catch in a heavy traffic. Owen Johnson goes up high, comes down with a football from 11 yards out. Touchdown. Explorers on the board first.
So Explorers on the board first, but a great response, though, from Central Catholic after the team's trade punts. A 7-yard punt from near midfield on LaSalle's next possession. Roman Thompson gets his first carry of the game, a 34-yard carry, gets the ball to the edge of the red zone. 2 plays later, Chris Black doing it again.
Doesn't matter. They're going to go to Black, who dances his way through some traffic and breaks free and will take it into the end zone. Tough running for Chris Black, and he takes it home.
Tied the score at 7, just over 3 minutes to go in the first half. A great drive down the field, using up nearly all of that remaining 3-some minutes. And again, Owen Johnson, left alone on third down from the 5-yard line, gives LaSalle the lead again.
Sidwar looking for a man underneath. The pass is caught. Touchdown, LaSalle. Owen Johnson for the second time finds the end zone for LaSalle.
Gavin Sidwar, 11 for 15 for 119 yards and those 2 touchdowns. A couple of good catches for Joey O'Brien, including an incredible one-handed catch for his first catch of the game. 4 receptions for 64 yards for O'Brien. Leading the way with those 2 carries for 38 yards is Thompson, and then Chris Black, 7 carries for 22 yards, and the lone score. Herrick, the quarterback, 4 of 9 for 40 yards, throwing the football for the Vikings. We're about 3 minutes away from kickoff for the second half of this Class 6A championship. Explorers 14, Vikings 7. LaSalle looking for their second ever state championship. We'll be back at Chapman Field in a moment. Send it back to Mr. McCool and Mr. Sparks when we return here on the PIAA Radio Network.
With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. Text your friends and family who aren't at the game and invite them to watch live now at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android.
Max Preps is your source for Pennsylvania high school sports. Schedules, stats, scores, rosters, rankings, video, and photos. MaxPreps gives you access to every team, every game, and every player across the state. Follow your favorite teams by downloading the MaxPreps app or go to maxpreps.com. MaxPreps, your source for Pennsylvania high school sports. Get in the game.
Some see a high school football stadium. We see a place where Pennsylvanians come together as a community. The Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters and the PIAA creating opportunities for student athletes to be seen across Pennsylvania.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Welcome back as we continue with halftime. Both teams are now out on the field, or well, one of them is. Pittsburgh Central Catholic is now making its way onto the field. Alongside Travis Sparks, my name is Bob McCoy. Thank Dr. Robert Lombardi, the Executive Director of the PIAA, for stopping by and talking to us a little bit about his career, his tenure, his time, and his future thoughts in terms of what we're doing here with the PIAA Radio Network. We're happy to be a part of it and bringing you all of these games that have happened throughout this weekend of football.
Yeah, he's got the toughest job among all of us who are here this weekend, not only overseeing all the championships, all the officials, all the all the logistics that go into putting a championship weekend of this caliber, 3 days straight like this, into effect. And also shout out to people like the incoming executive director, Mark Byers, also the assistant executive directors, Patrick Gebhardt, Jennifer Grosso, Lindsay Barna, who have been, Lindsay was our main contact down in media. Salute to everybody in the PIAA involved in putting in the work for the championship weekend.
Yeah, no question about it. And just to give you a recap, in case you're wondering about the championship weekend, it started on Thursday afternoon with the Single A Championship. You heard all of these games, of course, here on the PIAA Radio Network. Clareton against Bishop Guilfoyle, 35-3. The Bears win it. And then the 4A Championship game on Thursday night went to Southern Lehigh out of District 11. They beat Twin Valley 43-21 in a matchup of newbies on the playoff atmosphere for the state championship. Southern Lehigh winning its first ever. Southern Columbia winning its 15th ever as they beat Farrell on Friday afternoon in the 2A final 43-22. In the 5A final last night, it was Roman Catholic over Bishop McDevitt 28-6. And then this afternoon in the 3A final, it was Avonworth out of District 7 beating District 11 champion Northwestern Lehigh by a score of 31-7. This a matchup of District 7 in Pittsburgh Central Catholic and District 12 in LaSalle Explorers, and it is 14-7 in favor of LaSalle, and the Explorers will get the football to start half number 2.
How about some factoids for fun that we've had so far this weekend? We've had 2 games where a team has finished with negative rushing yards. Clareton held Guilfoyle to negative 1 yards in the 1A championship, and Farrell was held to negative 34 rushing yards by Southern Columbia in the 2A championship. That 2A championship, 43-22, and the Southern Lehigh win 43-21. Scoregamis. They have never happened in the history of the PIAA football playoffs. How about that one right there? And Clareton's 35-3 game, that's a championship scoregami. That only happened once ever in any playoff game back in 2009. The other interesting tidbits, congrats to Roman Catholic and Southern Lehigh, their first ever state championships, as you mentioned. Also, turning silver to gold for both Roman Catholic and Avonworth in the rematch games from last year's championship games. And how about this for a final one? All 5 games so far have featured a player with at least 3 touchdowns. Dion Lovelace Pompey had 2 rushing and a pick 6 for Clareton, 4 rushing touchdowns for Sean Steckert, 300-plus yards for him in that game as well. Grady Garcia, 3 touchdowns on the ground for Southern Columbia. Samaj Beals threw for 3 and ran for 1 for Roman Catholic. And then earlier today, Luca Neal, 3 rushing touchdowns from the Wildcat. And Jaden Jones sets a finals championship record with 187 receiving yards as well.
So it's some pressure on Owen Johnson because he's got 2 touchdowns so far for LaSalle to see if he can match up. Or maybe it'll be Chris Black who'll score a couple here in the second half. The other underlying theme that has been going on in this championship series is the father-son connection. Almost every game has featured a father and a son. Now, Luke Gordon, we mentioned, is the backup quarterback for LaSalle, and he is the holder. His father, Brett, is the head coach, but we've had it a lot over the course of this championship weekend, starting all the way back on Thursday afternoon with Justin Wheeler coaching his son Justin as the quarterback at Bishop Guilfoyle.
And I want to hope for a trend not to continue. 32-point victory, 22-point win, 21-point win, 22-point win, 24-point win. This is our closer game here at halftime, and let's hope it stays close.
So it will be the Vikings who will kick off as we get our second half underway. Again, it is LaSalle 14, Pittsburgh Central Catholic 7. Vikings are 13-1 on the season. Their lone loss coming to the Explorers all the way back on August the 22nd, a game played at Woodland Hills High School. They won it 23-6, did the Explorers. Their lone loss coming in regular season play in the Philadelphia Catholic League against Roman Catholic, 39-36, back on September the 26th. The kickoff by Pittsburgh Central Catholic's Antonio DeFada is again a touchback, and so the Explorers will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Pittsburgh Central Catholic defeated District 6 champion State College 42-21 in the quarterfinals, and then last week they beat the District 3 champion Harrisburg 32-14 to get to this state championship. Again, here for a second straight year, they lost to St. Joe's Prep last year. I mentioned this earlier if you missed it. This is the 10th edition of the 6A championship since PIAA went to 6 classifications in football, and it's the first time that the St. Joe's Prep Hawks are not a part of it, as LaSalle beat the Hawks not once but twice this season. Azir Nelson back in there, but he will not get outside as the future Duke Blue Devil, Colson Gatton, for Pittsburgh Central Catholic will wrap him up, toss him to the ground after a gain of just 1.
My key for the LaSalle Explorers in the second half, long sustained drives. Their 2 scoring drives were 10 plays and 11 plays. And they managed to get a penalty in there at some point or another, or a lucky break. For the Joey O'Brien one elbow catch, I guess we could call it, with that in that first drive, and then they got a penalty in the second drive and managed to get the goal-to-go situation to work. I can tell you that Joey O'Brien was parallel to the earth when he did make that catch. I know that. Here's Azir Nelson finding some daylight, and Azir Nelson had a very, I want to say quiet first half, but a very productive first half. You look at the stats, and all of a sudden the numbers are starting to add up for Azir Nelson as he runs for LaSalle's 6th first down in this football game. He's across the 30 and out to the 33-yard line. Yeah, another double-digit gain for Nelson. He just goes up the middle, and he's bouncing off of tacklers. Those yards after first contact are really adding up. 15 for 90 now for Azir Nelson after that 12-yard pickup to the 33. Trey Hopkins again is in there as a receiver. He is slot on the right side with Owen Johnson split to the right, O'Brien split to the left, and here's Nelson again following his blocker around the right side, cuts it up the field across the 35 and 40 before he's brought down right at the 40-yard line, and 7 more for the junior running back. 66, Drew Sorge had the lead block in that, and that, in fact, just putting his right hand was Johnson on the back of Sorge, just to say, hey, I'm right behind you. Keep blocking for me, big fella. Got a good gain. Azir Nelson's season high was in the District 12 championship game victory for LaSalle over Imhotep. He ran 19 times for 181 yards and 3 scores. Again, 16 now for 97 as he's about to go over 100 yards after his last gain, and he's looking for it here, but this time it's going to be a little bit tougher. But again, he still finds a way on that second effort to end up moving the chains. It looks like they've got him bottled up, and Azir Nelson still squirts himself free to the 44-yard line and moves the chains again. Yeah, Nelson, you cannot ankle tackle him. You have to square up against him. They did the first time in that 1-yard game, but he's ripped off games of 12, 7, and 4, and the first downs continue to add up. I mentioned this earlier, talking with Brett Gordon about the fact that Pittsburgh Central Catholic had the vaunted offensive line. He said, yeah, our offensive line has a little bit of a chip on its shoulder about that. Well, that's what the Explorers are doing right now. They're just kind of lining up and playing some bully football here and moving the chains. There's a little pop pass as they put O'Brien in motion. He cuts up the field and gets across midfield and into Viking territory and awfully close to another first down for LaSalle, depending on where they spot this football. Yeah, they have been doing press coverage on O'Brien, and they need to find ways to get him the ball. And if it means going in motion and doing the tap pass, the pop pass, the shuffle pass, the 5,000 names that all the coaches have for it anymore, it's gonna be good yardage, and now a good running situation here as they just need about 12 inches to get a first down. 5th catch of the day for O'Brien, who will now go out as a receiver slot on the right side with Owen Johnson split on the right on 2nd and less than a yard to pick up the first down. Little power formation in the backfield, but they're going to throw it for O'Brien, who slipped down but still gets enough to get the first down. And so O'Brien makes the catch, and as he just tried to cut back against the grain, foot went out from under him, but it is enough to move the chains. 3rd first down in this drive for LaSalle, as they are now at the Pittsburgh Central Catholic 46-yard line. Yeah, they're going to slow it down. They'll huddle up. Sometimes they will rush to the line, and Sidwar will look over to the near side. Now, last game with Havenworth and Northwestern Lehigh. It took a good 5-6 seconds for the call to come in. It looks like Sidwar looks over to the side. 1 second later, he knows what the call is, and he's letting everybody know.
Fandozzi's in there as the blocking fullback. This time it's a swing pass to Johnson. Makes the first man miss and the second. And Owen Johnson will get run out of bounds at around the 40-yard line. Seamus Mahan runs him out for Pittsburgh Central Catholic. A great move by Owen Johnson to make a couple men miss.
Yeah, he was dead to rights in the backfield, but it managed to slip out of 1-2 tackles. Jordan Ray had the first chance at him. He missed and just sidestepped another and got a good 6-yard gain.
Fifth catch of the night for Owen Johnson. As Sidwar's now 3 for 3 to start this second half, and now 14 for 18 on the football game. Fandozzi again stays out there as that H-back now. He's on the wing on the left with 2 receivers for the right for Sidwar from the left hash. And to give is to Nelson trying to go the short side of the field. Nothing much there as the Vikings will stack him up at around the 40. Gain, actually right back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. It's third down.
And they're going to huddle up here. Third and short situation to go. Third down efficiency very good already for LaSalle. Going to change some personnel again. Bring Jimmy Mahoney back in. He had a big game last week. I think he has 1 catch tonight so far. He's going to line up on the right side.
Fandozzi, the man who comes out. So it's more of a 4-receiver set, but packed tight on each side. 2 to the right, 2 to the left for Sidwar on 3rd and 4. Has time across the middle, to the sideline, looking for O'Brien, who made the catch before going out of bounds. It's good for a first down, it would appear, at about the 36-yard line, just enough to get to the sticks and move the chains for LaSalle.
He just barely got the catch and then stepped out, and he got right to the marker where he needed to get, and that 6'5" frame of his is coming in really handy tonight.
He is long and lean, but great hands and excellent speed in the open field. We haven't really seen that as of yet from Joey O'Brien, as he does pick up the first down here. He comes split to the slot to the left side. Johnson split to the left. And now O'Brien will go in motion to the short side of the field. Sidwar looking that way, little underneath route for O'Brien. Makes one man miss, and the second will come from behind and knock him down. And that man from behind is Coll from his defensive tackle spot. Knocks O'Brien down just shy of the 30. It's a gain of 6 on first down.
Kind of did a curl pattern with the motion, coming to the boundary, then cutting upfield maybe about 3 yards, then making the turn so that he could make the catch. He's already got 4 catches on this drive.
He's got 8 catches on the night. This is the 6th time this season, and this the 14th game of the year that O'Brien has had at least 8 catches in a game. Sidwar will go back to the ground game, and Nelson did not happen this time. I believe that's Roman Thompson who has him by a bear hug, and that's going to be a loss on the play back to the 33-yard line.
Thompson, Ashton Blatt, you can add Colson Gatton in there as well, just doing a really nice job of bottling up at a line of scrimmage, and going to be 3rd and long.
So Nelson loses 3. He was over 100 yards. Now he's back under it as this drive started this third quarter for LaSalle, and they still have the football for almost halfway through quarter number 3. Started at their own 20. Now in a 3rd and 7, about to run the 12th play of this drive. It's a somewhat Pittsburgh Central Catholic-esque drive going on right now for LaSalle.
2-down territory here if they don't make it.
3 receivers bunched to the right for Sidwar. O'Brien by them lonesome on the left. Sidwar looking right all the way. Going to throw it across the middle. Mahoney's wide open, 20, and down to about the 12 or 13 yard, about the 17-yard line is Jimmy Mahoney, and a first down again for LaSalle.
Wide open. Had a good 5-yard cushion between all of the tacklers there for Pittsburgh Central Catholic, but a great catch by Mahoney, and just the number of weapons that Sidwar has to throw to is it's an abundance of riches right now. And Oates has not come back in.
That is correct. It's a 15-yard pickup, and it was actually the 3rd catch of the day for Mahoney. 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. Again, 2 to the left, and O'Brien and Johnson. And they look to the left side looking for Johnson, who is the deeper of the 2 receivers, and he's open at the 10-yard line and makes the catch. A yard shy of the first down. It'll be 2nd down and 1.
Fell down when he caught it. He had to rotate to make the catch, and just fell right there. So 2nd and short.
2nd and about 2, a short 2, a long 1, depending on your perspective after the 8-yard completion to Owen Johnson. And movement up front, looked like they were trying to time the snap. It was Roman Thompson who made collision at the line of scrimmage. Now the pre-law majors are at it down on the field pointing fingers. Looks like he's going to be against the Explorers, against the Vikings. The 6th penalty against Pittsburgh Central Catholic is going to move it to the 5-yard line, and it will give LaSalle a first down.
That's the area where those best dressed fans down there are. All of the boys that came in chapeaus and suits and ties, and they're the ones making the noise down the lower end.
Did you thank them for not running us over on the way in, by the way?
Right. When the gates opened at about 5:45, they ran towards that section. About 100 of them.
LaSalle will bunch 3 receivers for the right on 1st and goal at the 5. As here Nelson the back in the backfield sidecar right of quarterback Gavin Sidwar. Handoff is to Nelson, trying to fight his way in. Gets met at about the 3, and the pushing and shoving will get him to the 2. It'll be 2nd and goal to go.
I think rugby scrum would probably be a good description for that pile up there. I want to say of the 22 men that were there, about 13 in there trying to either help Johnson or bring down Johnson.
4 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. LaSalle has had the football going on and will be over 8 minutes by the time they get this play off. As Fandozzi again is going to check back in as another blocker. 2nd and goal from the 2 for the Explorers. Johnson will split out to the right. O'Brien will go out there with him. Johnson's going to be in a slot. Fandozzi wing on the right. And now he'll shift to the left side. And timeout going to be called. Some confusion on the part of the Explorers. We've had timeouts called in some unusual spots in this football game. And LaSalle is going to call a timeout here with 3:53 left to go in quarter number 3. We'll take a timeout with the Explorers. They still lead it 14-7.
Attention fans, get your next game day ticket using Hometown. As the official online ticketing partner of the PIAA, Hometown gives you a simple and secure way to search, buy, and scan your ticket right from your phone. Download the Hometown Fan app from your mobile app store today. Together, we bring more. Celebrate the milestones, big and small, in life, from your first state championship win to a family get-together. And make them more meaningful with beef. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for beef recipe inspirations and more.
About to run the 14th play of this drive, the LaSalle Explorers, following the timeout, have a 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. Again, 2 receivers in Johnson and O'Brien split out on the right side. Fandozzi, the H-back on the right side, they'll give it to Nelson, who'll go right up the gut and not going to get there. It's going to be 3rd down.
Tried the right side of the line between guard and tackle and just could not get the penetration. So it's going to be 3rd and goal. They have had the ball this entire half, and you can go all the way back to 4:48 of the 2nd quarter. Central Catholic has not had their offense on the field since 4:48 of the 2nd quarter.
Owen Herrick, the quarterback for Pittsburgh Central Catholic, could have got a good nap in the amount of time. You got the halftime in between all of that, plenty of time for him to get rested on the sideline.
And ran to the cafeteria to get lunch.
In the meantime, it's 3rd down and goal to go for the Explorers. Again, the play action fake. They're going to try to throw it, but it's deflected at the line of scrimmage. They went for the little slant end pass looking for Owen Johnson, and it was deflected and incomplete.
Sidwar's pass is knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
Now, big question here. Do you go for the field goal, get the points to go up 2, or how confident are you in your offense to try and let them score the touchdown?
Well, it looks like Brett Gordon wants to leave the offense out there. Their kicker, Chris Heck, is staying on the sideline. So the Explorers are going to go for it. They will bring in Desmond Ortiz as a 2nd running back in the backfield. They're going to split them on either side of Gavin Sidwar. It's the first time we've seen this look with 2 backs in the backfield on either side of the quarterback. And they're going to flip it out for O'Brien, and he's going to throw it for the end zone for Johnson. Touchdown, LaSalle. The flanker screen pass, they threw it to O'Brien, who flicked it to Owen Johnson, touchdown Explorers.
The smart part of that play was O'Brien was lined up as one of the two receivers to the right side. He came in like a circular motion, but he made sure he was about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And then Sidwar threw it out to O'Brien, and perfect play called. Johnson in the corner of the end zone, got 1 foot down, touchdown. Great play call.
Guess what, James Dotson? We've got a man with 3 touchdowns in a game. We've run the full gamut of 6 for 6 as Chris Heck will come on for the extra point. It's good. With 3 minutes left to go, a 9-minute drive to start the third quarter for the LaSalle Explorers. They lead it by a score of 21-7. The Vikings will get it for the first time in the second half when we come back after this on the PIAA Radio Network.
What is life-changing medicine? The discovery of cancer at the earliest possible stage, challenging limits and transforming the impossible into reality, or connecting people to doctors and specialists when they need it most. At UPMC, we believe life-changing medicine is all those things. Our goal is to change the world of medicine and the lives of those around us. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
Thank you for over 40 years of trust. During those years, we've helped thousands of people just like you, our neighbors. We're here for you. We're here for our community. We're here for our region. The people that we worry about the most are the people who never hire an attorney. That's what the insurance company wants. When you do call us, you'll know that you have the firm with over 40 years of experience. And remember, there's never a fee unless we get money for you.
Yeah.
3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The LaSalle Explorers just putting together a more than impressive drive. 17 plays, 80 yards, and they ate up exactly 9 minutes off the third quarter clock. The Vikings are about to get it for the first time here on the kickoff return. And they return will be about the 30-yard line. And that is where Owen Herrick, who went 4 for 9 in the first half for just 40 yards, and the Vikings will start here in the third quarter. So they finally get the football, but now they're down 2 scores, 21-7.
Yeah, last time we gave you station identification was when the last time the Vikings had the ball on offense. They went 55 minutes in real time, counting halftime, without having the offense on the field, and finally they get back out.
Max Roman will come split out on the right side for the Vikings. Doesn't matter. They're going to go the left side and looking for Maceo Watkins. It's incomplete, and here comes the flag. Lots of clutching and grabbing as Maceo Watkins was running a streak down the left sidelines for the Vikings, and LaSalle Explorers are about to get nailed for a penalty, and it's going to be their 4th of the game.
Wait for the call here. I'll give you my key to the second half.
Defense number 3, 15 yards to the previous spot. To the first down.
There you have it from our referee Matt Freeze, a 15-yard pass interference penalty against the Explorers.
They got to get the run game going. They had more success with Thompson, and they got Black back in right now, and Alexander, they didn't do a whole lot with him either. So the run game is going to be key here for the Vikings.
They're going to throw it. Herrick looking to complete the pass for Max Roman. That pass is incomplete. Good coverage there by Aiden Christie for LaSalle. Forces the incomplete pass and brings up 2nd and 10.
Went for the slant pattern, tried the quick out, ended up throwing into double coverage, incomplete. So a couple more substitutions here. A lot more people going two-way than I had originally thought. So it's not exactly 22 fresh guys every play.
Max Roman, Aiden Nisaka on the right side. Looking for Watkins on the left side. And they left have a man wide open, and it's the tight end Golston, who could not hold on to it. Colson Gatton was free, but he threw the pass a little bit behind him. He could not catch it. It's 3rd down.
You got to feel bad for the kid because he had nobody within about 20 yards of him.
But they roughed the quarterback, and another personal foul penalty against LaSalle. LaSalle has had 5 penalties in this game, and they've all been 15-yarders.
And they haven't cost them up until this point. So we'll see if Central Catholic can make something out of this drive.
The Vikings now in Explorer territory at the 40-yard line, all in penalties. Herring, deep drop. looking for somebody across the middle. He's looking for Maceo Watkins, and it's incomplete. Too deep past Watkins, who was caught up. He's now looking for a flag. Not going to get one here. It's second down.
Trey Hopkins, Lucas Johnson out there on coverage. Hopkins might have done a little bit of hand fighting, but no call that time. Incomplete. They're going to the throw a lot, to the pass a lot more than I expected. I thought they would try and at least get something going in the run game.
Ryan Lahmeyer thinking right now he needs a quick strike, but he's not getting it right now on a second down and 10. Here is the run game for Chris Black. Black looking for some daylight. Not a whole lot there as he dances his way for a gain of about 3 to the 37-yard line. Bring up third down now for the Vikings.
One thing we didn't point out, this is a battle between two all-boys schools. I mean, we caught the line Philadelphia against Pittsburgh, but these are strictly boys' schools.
Chris Black gains 3 there on his 8th carry. 8 carries for 25, and 17 of them are on the touchdown run. They'll go back to him here. Trying to kick it outside. He'll get a couple before he's dragged down. Looks like it was Chima Augis who made the tackle on him, just shy of the first down. It's going to bring up, or did he get enough? No, it's going to be third down. It's fourth down, excuse me. Fourth and about a yard. No real choice here for Pittsburgh Central Catholic. They've got to go for it.
Thompson's in.
Stack the line of scrimmage and a direct snap, and they stack them up at the line of scrimmage, and let's see what happens out of this. Still pushing and shoving, and now they're going to have the first down unless they've blown the whistle dead, but right now the ball is being spotted inside the 30 at the 29, which is enough for a first down.
That was the right call. They bring Thompson in, that jumbo package. They've had the most success with him, and they got the first down. Even you're just stacking up 20 of the 22 guys who were there.
Ends up being a 2-yard pickup, first down and 10 now for the Vikings at the 38-yard line. Herrick shuffled out of the pocket, steps up and just throws that one out of bounds. Didn't have anybody near it, but he was on the run when he throws it away and incomplete.
He's getting some time to throw it, but that time is running out after we get to about the 3-second mark, and we have an injury of a Viking.
Timeout for an injured player.
Down the goal line.
Max Roman, who is the player who was shaken up on the play, and he was well away from everybody as Herrick again just threw that one away as he was under pressure. Stops the clock with 1:10 left to go. We'll take a timeout, injury timeout on the field. The LaSalle Explorers on top of the Pittsburgh Central Catholic Vikings, 21-7, live on the PIAA Radio Network.
Work hard and win big at West Virginia University. We automatically review applications for merit scholarship eligibility. No extra paperwork, no essays. Our scholarships are generous and non-competitive, which means if you have the grades, you have a scholarship. Plus, they're stackable, so you can get more than one and focus on what really matters. An easier path to your dream job. Let's go at wvu.edu.
We pause for 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the PIAA Radio Network.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Again, Max Roman, the injured player for the Vikings, the wide receiver for the Vikings, walking off the field on his own power, but still looking a little wobbly as he does so. Not quite sure what happened to him. He was well away from the play, whatever happened, if he just slipped down or not. But it's second down and 10 now following the incomplete pass for the Vikings. Again, they've got the football at the LaSalle 29-yard line, down 2 scores with 1:10 left to go in the third quarter. First possession of the second half for the Vikings. Black goes in motion out of the backfield. Herrick looking to the side, and the pass is incomplete. He was looking for Nasaka. It was deflected. It was caught on the deflection or not. Vikings say they have it, and they do. On the deflection, caught by the Vikings. On the juggling catch, Dominic Perella comes down with it, pick up a first down to the 18-yard line.
And they're going tempo.
And now they go back to the ground game, and Black will pick up a couple to about the 15, gains 3.
So it ended up being an 11-yard gain on the tip pass, and then they said, all right, we got to go tempo now. So 3 yards there, and quickly second down and 7.
From the 15-yard line now for the Vikings. A pistol set, but now a whistle before. And Roman Thompson back in there as the back in the backfield, but a whistle before the snap. Procedure against the Vikings.
Offense number 53. 5-yard penalty, second down.
7th penalty against Pittsburgh Central Catholic backs them up to the 20, makes it 2nd down and 12.
Yeah, right guard Jake Murphy moved a little early. Just a little hesitation there right before the snap, and back him up in 2nd and long.
Down to the final 35 seconds of this fast-moving third quarter, thanks in large part to that long 17-play drive for LaSalle. Explorers coming with a blitz. Herrick has time, looking for a man, looking for the corner. It's incomplete. He was looking for Perella, who could not hold on to it this time. Dominic Perella, who made that catch on the deflected pass a moment ago, could not hold on to it there with good coverage downfield by LaSalle. Brings up 3rd down.
Aiden Christie there on the coverage. He never turned around, but then again, he never touched the receiver, so no foul on the play.
ACL Watkins will split out on the right side with Aiden Asaka slot on the right. He's got 2 receivers on the left as well. Now Gatton goes in motion. They're going to set up a flanker screen here for, I believe that's Chris Black on the catch. And he will fight his way to about the 15-yard line. It's actually not Black. Instead, it was Ty Kovalson who was in there for the first time, and he makes the catch. The freshman makes the catch, and it's going to be the last play of period number 3. So for the Vikings, it'll be 4th down and 7. When we come back, it's the 4th quarter. It's the Explorers of LaSalle 21, the Vikings of Pittsburgh Central Catholic 7. More on the PIAA Radio Network, the final 12 minutes of high school football in 2025 when we come back after this.
Sports Fox Photography is Central Pennsylvania's home for dramatic, high-energy sports images. Booster Clubs, now's the time to book your media day and game day photo sessions for next season. See our full gallery and reserve your dates at sportsfoxphotography.com or follow at sportsfox.photography on Instagram and Facebook for the latest highlights. Capture the moments, celebrate the athletes, choose Sports Fox Photography.
Today's game is streaming live on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. You can relive all the incredible moments from today's matchup on demand at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android. You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Brought to you in part by UPMC, the life-changing medicine. Alongside Travis Sparks, my name is Bob McCool. 4th quarter, and it's the Vikings trailing LaSalle 21-7. The Vikings are driving. They've got it to a 4th and 7 at the 15-yard line of LaSalle. Maybe a make-or-break kind of play here in this moment for the Vikings. Needing 2 scores to even it up on a 4th down. Herrick drops deep, looking for a man, looking for Watkins. It's incomplete, but there's the flag. Looked like he was grabbing a hold of the receiver, Watkins, as he was trying to get into the end zone, and the flag is thrown.
Herrick's pass intended for number 9, Maceo Watkins, is incomplete. There's a penalty flag on the play. Defense number 3.
Another pass interference penalty, the 2nd in this series against LaSalle. And that's going to give the Vikings enough for a 1st down. 1st and 10 now for LaSalle. Or excuse me, 1st down and goal to go for LaSalle as the ball is now going to be spotted at the 7-yard line.
Yeah,
half the distance.
Yeah, half the distance goes to the 7.5. The line to gain was the 8, so it's going to be 1st and goal, and the drive stays alive for Central Catholic.
And so too does the hope for the Vikings. Down 2 scores. Roman Thompson is in there as the back sidecar left of the sophomore quarterback Owen Herrick. Give is to Thompson. Straight up the gut. Meets a man nose to nose and is going to get wrapped up. And Thompson not going to go down easily, but gets to about the 5, and that's it. It'll be 2nd and goal. And did the football come loose? LaSalle says it did. Now the question is whether or not the officials blew the whistle or not.
Oh, that play was called dead about 3 seconds before that ball was jarred loose. You could see the officials from each side just calling it dead when he got to the 5.
Not that you could hear any whistle at any point, though, with how loud it's getting down there on the field, especially on the near side with the LaSalle faithful.
Kyrie Mitchell was the man who met Roman Thompson nose to nose and stood him up after the gain of 2. So it's 2nd and goal to go. Right back to Thompson and right back into the spread basket of the same guy. Kyrie Mitchell, the 6-foot, 275-pound defensive tackle. The sophomore makes the catch. It's 3rd and goal, no gain.
Yeah, just a great job. Thompson trying to go off that strong side, the right side of the offensive line, and nothing doing that time. They're probably going to have to go to the air here.
Well, they just got bigger up front, if that's possible, for Salle, because they just brought in the 6'8", 285-pound offensive tackle, Grayson McHugh, who's going to Notre Dame as another defensive tackle on 3rd and goal. So they're going to go outside with Black on a toss pitch. Tries to get the edge, and Chris Black will dive. Is he in? Touchdown, Vikings. Not going to go up the middle with all that beef, so they went around the edge with Black for the score.
An impressive drive put together by Central Catholic. Yeah, it had all the penalties there that LaSalle gave them early on in the drive, and then the defensive pass interference to make it a goal to go. But the right call. Get it outside. Get away from everything. Even though McHugh had checked in and he lined up at left defensive end, they still ran around him and got the touchdown.
Yeah, that's probably the smart play. Again, 6'8", 285-pound. Run away from him. They do it out of the Wildcat. And now on to attempt the extra point is Antonio DeFada. And the extra point is good. 10 minutes, 31 seconds left to go in this football game, and it just got a whole lot more interesting. Both teams ultimately take the football for long drives in this 3rd and now into the 4th quarter. So both teams have had one possession. They've both scored, and it's taken almost 11 and a half minutes of football to get it done.
13 plays, 70 yards, 4 minutes and 29 seconds on that drive, and throw in 3 penalties for LaSalle, and there was one false start penalty that Central Catholic had committed. But yes, finally we're getting a 3rd possession of the half. Just some impressive offensive football here. I had said I was hoping to see a little more from the running game for Central Catholic. They slowly started to chip away a little bit, but the bread and butter right now is through the air.
6th and 7th touchdowns of the season for Chris Black in this football game. And again, we got 2 offensive guys as head coaches, Brett Gordon and Ryan Laymeyer. Gordon for LaSalle and Laymeyer for Pittsburgh Central Catholic. As this kickoff will be fielded at about the 2-yard line by Johnson. He's across the 15 to 20, and then eventually gets wrapped up by the Vikings at about the 25-yard line. So the second series for LaSalle starts with 10:23 left to go in the football game, and they'll start from the 25. They lead it by a score at 21-14. Big series here for the Viking defense.
That 17-play drive was 9 runs and 8 passes. They need to keep this balanced attack going and chew up a bunch of clock. Vikings still have all 3 of their timeouts. LaSalle down to 2.
So we'll see how Brett Gordon chooses to go after the Vikings here. They were effective throwing the football as well as running it. Sidwell was 8 for 9 in that series, but he didn't get the credit for the touchdown pass. Joey O'Brien threw it. Sidwell from the shotgun as he's been throughout the night. Azir Nelson is his back in the backfield, and he's going to get the call here. Finds his way through a hole, fights his way across the 30, and eventually gets tossed down at about the 33-yard line. The guy who will finish him off was Nick Karinga.
I'd say about 7 yards after first contact and maybe another 3 yards after second contact. That's the kind of yard-churning, time-consuming run that LaSalle needs right now.
21st carry unofficially of the night for Azir Nelson, and 109 yards to go along with it after just picking up 8 as we're inside of 10 left to go in the football game. So LaSalle's going to take their time here, run the play clock as long as they can each time, just shortening up the game. Joey O'Brien will come split to the right side. Owen Nelson splits to the left. Trey Hopkins slot left. Play action fake. They'll just toss it out for O'Brien. O'Brien to the 40 and then shoved out of bounds. It's going to be good for a first down. They only needed 2 to get the first down. O'Brien had that and more. He's out across the 40 to about the 41, a gain of 8 more.
Yeah, get him up to the 41. Looking at Johnson's numbers on the season, you said he has over 100 yards on the night. He needs 166 tonight to get to 1,000. Personnel changes here again as Fandozzi comes out. O'Brien's going to line up here with Johnson on the near side, and
they'll bring Mahoney in as a 4th receiver, so they'll go spread it out a little bit here. 2 receivers each way on 1st and 10. Again, O'Brien goes in motion to the short side. They set that flanker screen to him. He almost dropped the football, but he holds on, pinned it to his knees, and then runs it out to about the 48 or 49-yard line. And now a flag in as well. Joey O'Brien caught it, started to run with it, and almost started to slip out of his hand. He pinned it to his knee and kept on running, and then after tackled at the 48 is where the flag comes in.
So Sidwar talking with the officials, I guess, asking what the options are from here. Here's the call.
Face mask. So 5-yard incidental face mask is what our referee Matt Free said. So they'll add 5 more yards on to the end, which will give the Explorers a first down. It's a 7-yard pickup and then 5 more on the penalty.
You know, if O'Brien hadn't already committed to higher education, he could have put that catch on a highlight reel because he pinned it to his leg and while still in stride, secured the catch, managed to survive the face mask and get the first down.
At the 47-yard line now after the penalty on the 10th catch of the night for Joey O'Brien. He is he split out on the right side by himself. 3 to the left for Sidwar. He fakes like he's going to throw it. He's going to run it for instead on the option quarterback keeper, and he'll run it across the 40. Actually dives right at the 40, gains 7 on first down.
Smart slide right there by Sidwar. He had about 3 Vikings that he was going to come in contact with, but made the right call, initiated the slide right at the 40. Lived to see another day instead of getting clocked.
It's the first design run we've seen from Sidwar. He did scramble for 16 yards in the first half, but that was a design quarterback draw to the 40-yard line. Clock still rolling. 8:35 left to go in the football game. 21-14, Explorers on top. Back to Nelson. Nothing happening there. And slicing through the traffic and wrapping him up was Colson Gatton.
He's been one of the MVPs of the night for the Vikings. He's made several big tackles, trying to make an impact on offense as well from blocking and also some receiving. Yeah, he dropped the pass earlier over there, but he's been making some really nice tackles tonight.
Headed to play for Manny Diaz and the Duke Blue Devils. And wrapped up Nelson for a loss of a yard to the 41-yard line as we're now inside of 8 minutes left to go. O'Brien and Johnson split out for the left side. Vandozzi back in there as that H-back, lined up on a wing on the left. Nelson, right now off the right edge, gets inside the 40, gets maybe 2, and that's it.
Roman Thompson prevented the first down. Got him up to the 38 now, third and a really long one.
Fourth.
Oh, fourth, excuse me. That was third. They just flipped it now to fourth. Keep the offense on the field. There are going to be multiple substitutions on the Viking side. We'll see what gets called here.
So clearly a huge stop here coming up for the Vikings if they can do it. Get the football back, down by a score. Meantime, the Explorers trying to keep this drive alive and keep this momentum on their side. Again, Fandozzi is the wing on the left. We're going to get a timeout called by LaSalle. The Explorers burned their second timeout here. So pretty interesting for Brett Gordon and the Explorers to burn a timeout and their second in this spot. And again, they have the lead, so that's to their advantage. But should the Vikings get the ball back and score, it might be a situation where you might want to have one of those timeouts left in your pocket if you have the football.
Yeah, Sidwar didn't come off the sideline until there was 10 seconds left to go on the 40-second clock. And we had seen a couple times this weekend, if you're rushing to the line, not good things are not going to happen in your favor. It's the best decision here to call timeout.
These two teams are 500 in state championship games. Pittsburgh Central Catholic more prolific. They've won 4, they've lost 4. LaSalle also 1-1. They went back-to-back in 2009 and 10. They won the game in 2009 over State College, 24-7. Lost to North Allegheny in 2010. I'm talking to Brett Gordon about it because that was a memorable game in 2009, played in a couple of feet of snow. And I said, I remember your 2009. I said, I know you remember 09 more than 10 because you won. He said, yeah, I have a hard time remembering what happened in 2010. They lost to North Allegheny 21-0. That might have a reason why. Forget it. But you don't never forget that snow game in 09. 4th and 1. The give is to Nelson. Nelson has enough for the first down. Surge off the left side. It's enough for the Explorers to move the chains.
Yeah, he lined up, Nelson did, on the right side of Sidwar. He took the handoff, went towards left tackle, turned upfield at the left guard, and got the first down.
24 carries unofficially and 114 yards for Azir Nelson. More importantly for LaSalle, a new set of downs and more time off the clock. By the way, to this point, neither team has turned the football over. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. 2 receivers to the right. Johnson slot right, O'Brien split right. Little pistol set here with Fandozzi as the fullback. Nelson follows him right into the pile. Nothing doing. Vikings trying to cause that first turnover, trying to rip it out. Not happening. Ashton Blatt was in there trying to rip the ball out. The defensive end was trying to rip the ball out of Nelson. And they're going to spot him down. Actually looks like maybe give him a yard to the 34. That's it.
It looked like the pile moved to the 33, but then back to the 34. It's like it changed directions about 6 times down there.
Inside of 6 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. It's amazing that these sustained drives. There has been a total of 3 possessions, 2 for LaSalle and 1 for Pittsburgh Central Catholic in a quarter and a half.
Really tight bunch formation here to the boundary side. They're on the now. Is that the last timeout? Oh my!
Wow. Brett Gordon didn't like something. Somebody was confused, and LaSalle just called its 3rd and final timeout with 5:36 left to go in the football game. Drama in Mechanicsburg. Explorers 21, Vikings 14 in the 6A state championship.
The Hampton Inn and Town Place Suites Harrisburg West in Mechanicsburg are proud to partner with the PIAA to welcome teams and their families from across Pennsylvania. Our award-winning properties provide the region's best lodging opportunities, including double-bedded guest rooms, studios, suites, and 1- and 2-bedroom suite options with all the luxuries of home. Put your team first. Check us out at highhotels.com.
What is life-changing medicine? Is it returning to the playing field or your favorite hiking path after an injury? Or running with your grandkids after a joint replacement? At UPMC, life-changing medicine is all those things. Through innovative research, rehabilitation, and advanced surgical procedures, our experts get you back to what you love doing. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
2nd down and 9 for the LaSalle Explorers from the Vikings 34-yard line. They lead it by a score and looking for more. Sidwell looking to his right, looking for floated up and over the head and incomplete. He had a couple of receivers there. Trey Hopkins, the closest one to him, but clearly well over his head. 3rd down and 9 coming up now for LaSalle.
When they took their 3rd timeout, Sidwar, I just looked at his body language. He's like, "Are you kidding me?" And just had his helmet a little ajar on his head. It's like, oh boy. All right. It's like, I got to get a good job done here, and let's try and get another score on the board here. Now they got 3rd and long.
Sidwar 10 for 12 in the second half, 21 for 27 on the night. 3rd down and 9. He's got 3 receivers to his left. Fakes right, goes left. It's Johnson. Johnson makes a couple of men miss. Owen Johnson inside the 30, but he's short of the first down by 2 yards. 4th down.
Good pattern. It was one of those, I don't want to call it a bubble screen, but it was maybe a rocket screen, you could even call it, going back to the Rocket Ismail days. Got out on his own, let the athlete do the work, and they need 2.5 to get the first.
Catch number 8 for Owen Johnson. He's got 8. O'Brien's got 10. So 19 of the 23 completions for Gavin Sidwar have gone to his top 2 receivers. But more importantly, here we go again, another 4th down situation for the Explorers. They're 2nd in this drive with 4:45 and counting left to go in the football game. 4th down and a long 2. Put O'Brien in motion, looking in his direction, and they'll flip it out to him, and it's incomplete. They went for Joey O'Brien right at the sticks. No, not going to connect. Pittsburgh Central Catholic will take over on downs.
a bad job of time management. They got the clock, the play clock was all the way down to 0 because O'Brien had to go in motion. He made the quick out, but he was double covered. It seems like the pattern was aimed to go to him all along, and Central Catholic read it. Just erase that from the films if you end up winning, because that was just a bad sequence of events there for LaSalle.
So the Vikings have the football back. They're down by a score. 4:38 left to go. Pittsburgh Central Catholic has all of its timeouts left. They start from the 28. Herrick, play action fake, looking for the sidelines. Passes off the fingertips and incomplete.
Owen Herrick's pass intended for number 40. Colson.
Was looking for Colson Gatton. They hunted him up the tight end on the outside, but it was off his fingertips, incomplete at second down.
Yeah, they threw into double coverage again. It seemed like Herrick might have only seen one man in coverage out there, but then another defender collapsed on the coverage and made it incomplete.
Herrick this time will hand it off to Chris Black, nothing doing. They got him wrapped up, and eventually they'll blow the whistle and the play dead from that spot. As LaSalle will wrap him up, Jamel Williams had Chris Black by the waist. The flag is on the play. And LaSalle's walking backwards.
Which could mean face mask.
Personal foul penalty again.
Face mask, 56.
Every one of LaSalle's penalties in this football game, with the exception of one, 8 of their 9 have been 15-yard penalties. Another penalty first down picked up by Pittsburgh Central Catholic as a result. They're at the 43.
The one that wasn't a 15-yarder was a fourth down pass interference half the distance that led to a first down.
Because they didn't have
just as bad.
They didn't have 15 yards to walk off. First and 10 at the 43 now for the Vikings. 4:15 counting when they snap it. Gatton moves from right side to left side as the tight end. In motion is Nasaka from right side to left. Herrick looks across the middle, and it's incomplete. It's intercepted. Picked off by Joey O'Brien at the 40, 30, 25, 20. Joey O'Brien still on his feet all the way down inside the 5-yard line. He was looking for Maceo Watkins, and it was off the fingertips and into the hands of Joey O'Brien, the game's first turnover.
50 yards on the interception return. I thought Brian was going to snake his way into the end zone. He finally got him down at about the 2, so that was the huge break. The bad possession that LaSalle just had, well, O'Brien made up for it, and now they have first and goal at the 2.
It's really the first time we've gotten a chance to see Joey O'Brien in the open field. Most of his catches have been in traffic or as little as some bubble screens, but we got it in the open field, and you saw that long stride of his, getting himself free and clear and almost taking it all the way in, but instead it'll be first down, goal to go for the Explorers as the football is marked down at the 2-yard line on the 5th interception of the season for Owen Herrick. 3 minutes and 55 seconds left to go. The Explorers on top 21-14, and they'll have it again first and goal at the 2.
They huddled on the sideline here, and they're finally going to get to the line of scrimmage and get set with about 6 to go on the play clock.
Azir Nelson back in as the back, sidecar right. Now it switches to the left of Gavin Sidwar. And he will follow his tight end around the edge, and Azir Nelson will take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Again, they bring Fandozzi in as the blocker, and he lined up on the right edge, and that's exactly where Azir Nelson ran for the 2-yard score.
Great job. Great job. Johnson was lined up on the left side of Sidwar, and he just ran across the formation, as you said, blocking from the tight end, the right side of the line of scrimmage, and just veers upfield, gets the touchdown, and once again, the comfortable 2-score lead for LaSalle.
All set up by the Joey O'Brien interception and the return. It just took them the one play this time, and they are in the end zone for the score. On for the extra point attempt is Chris Heck, and he pulled it. No good. So it's a 27-14 difference now on the scoreboard with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left. When we come back, the Pittsburgh Central Catholic Vikings will get the ball right back.
Thank you for over 40 years of trust. During those years, we've helped thousands of people just like you, our neighbors. We're here for you. We're here for our community. We're here for our region. The people that we worry about the most are the people who never hire an attorney. That's what the insurance company wants. When you do call us, you'll know that you have the firm with over 40 years of experience. And remember, there's never a fee unless we get money for you.
Get a head start on your career in exciting fields like science, communication, engineering, and medicine, along with tuition assistance in the Pennsylvania National Guard. To learn more about the Pennsylvania National Guard, check out Join PA Guard on Facebook and Instagram, or go to nationalguard.com/PA. Are you having trouble saving to buy a home? The Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency offers down payment and closing cost assistance. Learn more at phfa.org or just Google PHFA and find out how you can buy a new home.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Welcome back to Chapman Field in Mechanicsburg. The Explorers 27, the Vikings 14. Must-score territory now for Pittsburgh Central Catholic with 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this 6A state final.
Finally getting over the they started playing Renegade here in the stadium, which is the Pittsburgh national anthem almost, and all the bad luck for LaSalle happened until that O'Brien interception.
And on the kickoff return, fielded by one of the up men for the Vikings, is returned to about the 35-yard line. So again, pretty much must-score territory here for Pittsburgh Central Catholic. Owen Herrick right back out after that deflected pass that was intercepted by O'Brien, returned for about 38 yards to the 2. And from there, Azir Nelson on the next play runs it in. And the Vikings back to trying to make something happen here on the offensive side with time not on their side. And down 2 scores.
Yeah, O'Brien and Aiden Christie, they are 2 of the men in the defensive backfield. They're and Chime Auguste also in there. They gotta step up here.
2 receivers each way. One of them, Max Roman. Good to see him get back into the football game, shaken up earlier. There's a little out pattern looking for Maceo Watkins, but the pass is out of bounds and incomplete. So it's 2nd down and 10 coming up now for the Vikings. It's been a rough night in the completion percentage for Owen Herrick. He was 8 for 30 in the meeting back on August the 22nd. But again, that was his first start as a Viking, just a sophomore. As he steps up in the pocket here, trying to deliver the football across the middle, is almost intercepted again. The only one there offensively was Colson Gadd, but he was surrounded by 4 LaSalle Explorers.
Cooper Hiley got his hand on the ball, incomplete. It's, I don't want to say he's really forcing it, but at least he's setting his feet, looking over all of his options, and then letting go. It's not as like he's had to. He's getting good offensive line protection. It's just just got to put it in the right place now.
6 for 19 is Herrick in this championship game for just 56 yards and the pick. He's needing to come up with something here on 3rd and 10. Again, straight drop, looking across the middle. Pass off the deflected and into the hands of O'Brien again. Joey O'Brien has it right back again. He's going to take a knee at about the 42-yard line. It was off the fingertips of Maceo Watkins again, and Joey O'Brien was there in the right spot one more time.
Not too many people, you could say, have 2 interceptions in a title game, but that one might just seal it. We've got a Viking down in the middle of the field. It could be in the area that Watkins was. So another stoppage in play here as they've got 2 trainers, now 4 trainers going to tend to the injured Viking.
There again, it was Watkins was the intended target. It was kind of high and off his fingertips and maybe a little bit behind him, and he reached back to try to make the catch and hit off his hands and then deflected. And right there was where Joey O'Brien was standing to pick it off for a 2nd straight pick in 2 series for LaSalle and O'Brien.
Yeah, the receiver was completely airborne. I saw him land hard, and then it looked like the head whiplash back a bit as well. So landed hard on the arm first and then maybe hit on the head as well off the turf.
So tending to the injured Viking, which stops the clock for the time being with 3 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the football game. And LaSalle is going to get the football back, which right now is spotted again in Viking territory after the interception return, in which O'Brien just kind of ran for a little bit and then kind of slid to a knee, knowing he had regained possession of the football for his offense. So we will take a timeout, the injury timeout, while they attend to the injured Viking, and be back after this on the PIAA Radio Network.
Sports Fox Photography is Central Pennsylvania's home for dramatic, high-energy sports images. Booster Clubs, now's the time to book your media day and game day photo sessions for next season. See our full gallery and reserve your dates at sportsfoxphotography.com or follow at sportsfox.photography on Instagram and Facebook for the latest highlights. Capture the moments, celebrate the athletes, choose Sports Fox Photography.
Today's game is streaming live on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. You can relive all the incredible moments from today's matchup on demand at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android.
For over 100 years, Wilson has been an icon on the gridiron, delivering elite performance on more high school football fields than any other brand, as well as being the official football of the NFL and the NCAA. Where there's football, there's Wilson. Learn more at wilson.com.
If you think you can make the calls, become a PIAA official. Make some extra cash, stay in shape, and enjoy interscholastic sports, all while making a difference in your community. Head to PIAA.org for more information.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Back as they continue to attend to the injured Pittsburgh Central Catholic Viking, right near the 45-yard line here at Chapman Field. After the interception by the Explorers, they're going to get the football back once we resume play with 3 minutes and 23 seconds left to go in the football game. Salle on top, 27-14. Again, Joey O'Brien with the interception to set up a short field as your Nelson runs it in for the touchdown to give the Explorers a 2-score lead. And it was Maceo Watkins who was the injured player and up and walking off the field under his own power. That's a good thing to see. A future member of the Midshipmen of Navy. So walks off the field under his own power, and we can resume our football game. Again, 3 minutes and 23 seconds left to go. And the Explorers in Pittsburgh Central Catholic territory at the Viking 43-yard line.
Or as this second half has been known, the Joey O'Brien show. He had the touchdown pass, the interception that led to the other touchdown, and the pick that leads to now.
He's caught 10 passes, just shy of 100 yards receiving on the night as well. Give is to Nelson. Nelson cuts right up the middle, gains himself about 3 more to the 40. Vikings see if they start using their timeouts here. Now, I think they'll burn their first right now. They will. Stops the clock with 3:18 left to go. So the Vikings use their first of 3 timeouts here after Azir Nelson runs for 3 more.
Well, Salle had already used all of their timeouts in the possession before the last touchdown, where they just seemed totally out of sequence, but a good defense, and Joey O'Brien fixed that quickly. Had the interception, the 1-play drive with Nelson getting the 2-yard touchdown, and then after 3 plays where Central Catholic just had to throw it to stay alive, then O'Brien makes the second interception.
So it's been a very interesting second half in the way it is all unfolded. First, again, the 17-play, 80-yard drive coming out of halftime for LaSalle, giving the Vikings a little bit of a taste of their own medicine in that process. They finished it off with the touchdown pass from O'Brien to Owen Johnson on that little flanker screen. And then the Vikings came right back, aided by some penalties, but to put together a 70-yard drive of their own for a touchdown. And here's Nelson right back, trying to bounce off a tackle. But the pursuit will wrap him up. And again, the first one to ultimately wrap him up is Colson Gatton. But the second effort by Azir Nelson takes him to the 37, picks up 3 more, and another second timeout now called by Pittsburgh Central Catholic.
They've got to stop him here on this 3rd down. They're going to mark it at about the 36.5. Going to bring up 3rd and 2.5. Run Nelson. That's the best thing to do to keep the clock going. Use that make the Vikings use that last timeout. It's 4-down territory either way. If they don't get the first down here, go for it on 4th down. You're going to end up using up 40 seconds of clock. And you've proven to stop the Vikings here in the second half. Yes, they had the long touchdown run, but drive rather, but long drives aren't going to win for you right now.
And they were aided by some penalties by LaSalle in that drive. That certainly helped Pittsburgh Central Catholic's cause. So all of that factoring into this second half. It was a 14-7 lead for LaSalle at halftime. 27-14 right now, and the Explorers have it 3rd down and 5 after the Vikings' second timeout, 3rd and 5 at the 37. Again, Fandozzi in there as the H-back, and Nelson will follow his lead, and the Vikings will wrap him up after a gain of maybe a yard or two to the 35. And now Pittsburgh Central Catholic will call its 3rd and final timeout.
They brought 2 of the defensive backs up into coverage. They end up jamming the line, making it a 6-man line. And even though Johnson ran to the left side, he couldn't cut it upfield. And now decision time is they've got to get to.
So what do you do if you're Brett Gordon here? Do you just pooch it down there, back them up as far as you can? It's a 2-score game. If you don't get it, you're just shortening up the field. And obviously, if you do get it, game's over because you could pretty much run out the clock. Pittsburgh Central Catholic's out of timeouts.
How do you use O'Brien here? That'd be another another really good question because they brought him in motion with the flanker when they had the touchdown earlier.
Yeah, they kind of looped him around a little bit in the backfield so he was behind the quarterback, threw it to him so then he could throw it to Owen Johnson. So that's a good question is do you get Joey O'Brien involved in this or you just have Nelson run for it and see what you can get?
Going to line him up here.
They are going to bring the offense out, that's for sure. Their punter, Chris Heck, is not on the field. And now they're going to go naked backfield here. 3 receivers to the right for Sidwar and 2 to his left.
A really soft coverage on O'Brien.
Little pass across the net, Johnson across the middle, but it was deflected at the line of scrimmage. So the incomplete pass will change over on downs to the Vikings. And with 3 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the football game, Pittsburgh Central Catholic gets possession of the ball. They are at their own 35-yard line. They need not 1 but 2 scores to either tie or win this football game. So they got to score once first.
I wish they would have had O'Brien do a button hook like 5 yards out because Thompson was about 10 yards downfield in coverage. They would have had the first down, but this makes things a little more interesting now.
2 receivers to the right for Herrick and 2 to his left. He's in backfield by himself. Looking for a pass across the middle. Diving catch is made. No, it's not made. Tried to make the catch was Ty Kavolson. The freshman is back in there. Made just his 4th catch of the season earlier in this game, but this one he could not hold on to the diving catch. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, the backside, the far side judge on the backside made the call. You saw it right away, incomplete.
Again, Maceo Watkins, one of their top receivers, shaken up in the last series, so he's not out there. Across the middle is Black, and he cannot hold on. Trying to make the juggling catch. Chris Black drops it. So the receivers right now not helping out the sophomore quarterback, Owen Herrick.
Yeah, the timing is just a hair off with some of these throws here. Yeah, we are in desperation time. Yes, I don't think other than game 1 against LaSalle, he's had many of these game on the line opportunities.
Black now is going to shift back into the backfield with Herrick. And trying to dump this one off short. It's pass is caught across the 40 and shy of the first down as the tackle's made. About a yard short. It's going to bring up 4th down and 1. And that was Perella who made the catch. Gain of 9. It's 4th and 1.
Quickly up to the line.
In the shotgun. Trying to get LaSalle maybe to jump off sides, give him a freebie. Give it to Black instead. He'll get the first down and more across midfield. Chris Black gets bumped down at the LaSalle 45-yard line. Vikings do pick up the first down, another set of downs with 2:20 left to go. Pittsburgh Central Catholic right up on the ball. 2 receivers each way for Herrick. Straight drop, has time. looking for a receiver on the sideline. Pass is caught. We'll see where they spot the forward progress. It's Gatton who makes the catch at about the 38-yard line. A gain of 7 makes it 2nd and 3. 2 minutes left to go in the football game. Herrick looking left this time where he's got 2 receivers. He's going to take off and run with it instead. He'll pick up the first down and then slide down at about the 32-yard line. Clock will stop till they move the chains. First down for Pittsburgh Central Catholic.
These receivers are going to be gassed pretty soon here because they're going full speed downfield and then they go right back to line of scrimmage.
Black shifts up to become a 5th receiver. Herrick looking in his way, and he finds him inside the 20 and down to about the 17-yard line. Another first down for the Vikings. 1st and 10 at the 17. 1:40 left. Clock stops so they move the chains. They're getting tired too. 1st and 10. Again, same look. Herrick again looking for Black across the middle of the field, but he throws it right into the arms of Joey O'Brien for a 3rd time. O'Brien's at the 30. Foot race to midfield. O'Brien shakes it loose, and Joey O'Brien is going to walk his way into the end zone on the interception. Touchdown, Explorers.
Game, set, match, and encore. And we got the LaSalle coaches right next to us, and they're starting to celebrate already. That's just a fantastic second half by Joey O'Brien when he was bottled up for the most part in the first half, having all those catches, the touchdown pass, and now 3 interceptions in the second half.
Joey O'Brien has made 13 catches in this game, 10 on offense and now 3 on defense. And, of course, he's thrown a touchdown pass as well and runs it in for a 95-yard interception return to put icing on the cake and the victory in the books for the LaSalle Explorers. It comes with 1 minute and 17 seconds left to go. The extra point is good. The score now, the Explorers 34. Pittsburgh Central Catholic 14 with 1 minute, 17 seconds remaining in the football game. We'll have that final minute and 17 when we come back after this.
At the conclusion of the contest, in order that our players and coaches are awarded all courtesies, no one's permitted on the field.
On behalf of the PIAA, we'd like to thank our friends at First Citizens Community Bank, a local community bank who have been building better communities for over 150 years throughout Pennsylvania. To learn more about FCCB and what they can do for you, visit myfccb.com or find them on Facebook. Fans feel right at home when on the road at the Homewood Suites by Hilton Harrisburg West. Our hotel is great for families because we've got 2-bedroom suites. Here you'll find exactly what you need to fuel your day from sunrise to sunset. Enjoy great amenities like free hot breakfast, free Wi-Fi, a fitness center, and a 24-hour convenience mart in an award-winning hotel in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. It's the Homewood Suites, Harrisburg West.
Jaden Alexander on the kickoff return for Pittsburgh Central Catholic across the 30 and about to the 31 is as far as they'll go. And the Vikings will come out there and do what they can, but they're about to lose the state championship here in Class 6A for the 2nd straight year. Last year to St. Joe's Prep 35-6. This one right now is 34-14.
So James Dotson, our producer and our postgame show host, was big on people with 3 touchdowns tonight. How about this? Joey O'Brien in 3 minutes and 21 seconds of game time, 3 interceptions.
And took one of them to the 2, which led to a touchdown on the next play. And the second and the third one just took care of business himself. 95 yards on the interception return. Herrick back to work. Drops deep. Going to throw it pass caught. It's Nasaka who makes the catch. And Nasaka will fight for a first down across the 40 to about the 42-yard line as the Vikings pick up another first down, stopping the clock with 1:01 left to play. Colson Gatton will come out here as a receiver slot on the right side with Max Roman. 2 receivers, on the left side, 2 receivers on the right. Now Black goes in motion to the left as well. Herrick looking the other way, the right side. Pass is caught. And that's Nasaka again who makes the catch. Good for another first down in LaSalle territory. Aiden Nasaka knocked out of bounds at the 44-yard line. 1st and 10.
Just paying attention here to Herrick, and you could make this comparison. Doesn't his throwing motion kind of remind you of Kerry Collins?
A bit, but he's got some growing to do for sure. But he's just a 10th grader, and again, this is his first varsity football. And completes this one underneath for Dominic Perella. It's been a rough go for him on either end against LaSalle. Otherwise, he's had a solid season, and this is his first start as Perella makes the catch to about the 37 or 38 yard line. A spot at the 37. Second down and 3. This time to throw. Now he's going to make the right decision to run out of bounds and pick up the first down in the process.
And the flag.
And now a flag on a hit as he was going out of bounds.
Penalty flag on the play.
And LaSalle is going to get hit for another 15-yard penalty.
It's about 7 or 8 15-yarders, or would have been 15-yarders if they were the full distance.
Correct.
So they'll go 15 from here to or it's the other way.
Oh. This may have been on somebody on the bench.
After the flag, dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 14, the offense. 15 yards, the dead ball spot.
So that's Nasaka. His teammate took exception to whatever happened along the sideline. So they backed up the Vikings instead, back to the 47-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh Central Catholic after Herrick ran for the first down with now 43 seconds remaining in the football game. Saka goes in motion, looping around the quarterback. Herrick looking the other way. He's got one man over there, and he makes the catch before tiptoeing him going out of bounds. It's Perella again.
Pass complete to number 11, Dominic Perella.
At the 36-yard line, he's out of bounds, stops the clock with 37 seconds left to go, and another first down for Pittsburgh Central Catholic.
And they go quickly.
Saka will come over here on the left side to go join Max Roman. Black slot on the right side with Perella. Herrick under a rush, steps up in the pocket, delivers the football, and it's in the direction of Black, but I think it's incomplete. It is. So it stops the clock with 31 seconds left to go, and the incomplete pass brings up 2nd and 10.
Vikings out of timeouts, so they've got to go to the end zone regardless here for any hope of continuing. But and LaSalle still staying in their base defense.
Just rushing 3 right now is LaSalle. And they'll hand it off to Black. Black sees some daylight, 30, 25, and spun down there at about the 22-yard line.
Stops the clock for the first down.
At the 23 is where they put him down. Jimmy Mahoney on the tackle. 1st and 10. Herrick looks right, going to dump it off instead for Black. Black at the 20, trying to get out of bounds. Jukes back the other way to the 10. Dives to the 5, still on his feet, and will find his way to the end zone. Just a tremendous effort by Chris Black, bouncing off a tackle, spins his way out of a couple more, and takes it in the end zone from 23 yards out.
Did not give up on the play, and he was wide open. Nobody really in front of him. All the defenders had backed away. Good job by Herrick to see, hey, I've got my man open, and then, wow, just Chris did the rest, and a good job, and gets into the end zone.
So he joins the 3-touchdown parade here in 2025 as he comes up with his 3rd touchdown of the game. First 2 on the ground. This one by way of a pass, 23 yards on the hookup. And now they'll go for 2 here. Herrick, play action fake, looks right. He's in trouble, steps away from the trouble, throws it in the direction of Max Roman, but too high and incomplete. 2-point conversion is denied. It's 34-20 with 7 seconds remaining in the football game. So Pittsburgh Central Catholic obviously will continue to play this thing out. They'll go for the onside kick here. The Explorers will put their hands team out there and may have to take one more snap, and that should do it.
8 plays, 69 yards, a minute 10 on the scoring drive. I'm happy for the Vikings' will to never give up. That was a good drive by them, just getting all the yardage that they absolutely could, and with Nasaka making catches, some other catches there made by Perella, and ultimately Chris Black with the touchdown.
So the LaSalle Explorers are going to win their 2nd state championship in football. Their first since 2009. They were the first Philadelphia Catholic League team to win a football state championship. There's been a few more won since then. Of course, Roman Catholic won one last night. And, of course, St. Joe's Prep has won 9 in that time frame. Hawks won 2 at the 4A classification before the split to 6. And they won 7 of the 9 that have been awarded so far. So here comes the onside kick attempt. Actually, he didn't. He pooched it. He just kicked it into the end zone. Well, he's done that all night long. Antonio DeFada, the junior kicker, has got himself a strong leg, and there's been no returns of his kicks when he's kicked them into the end zone. So the celebration will ensue now for the LaSalle Explorers as the future Missouri Tiger, Gavin Sidwar, will take a snap, take a knee, and take a victory for LaSalle.
This game was in doubt with 4 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, and then Joey O'Brien decided, time for me to take over and let's get this thing on our side.
The Vikings had gotten a stop. They got the football down by a score, but that's when the turnovers began, and O'Brien with the interceptions and ultimately finished it off with a 95-yard interception return that seals the deal for the LaSalle Explorers. They are your 2025 6A championship. We'll come back with a wrap-up and a good night on the PIAA Radio Network as the Explorers win the title 34-20.
The PA Attorney General's office and the PIAA remind you to not let pain become a killer. If you suspect a teammate, family member, or friend of abusing prescription drugs, tell a coach, tell a teammate, tell a teacher, tell someone. For help and information, go to ddap.pa.gov, and together we can ensure that pain doesn't become a killer.
What is life-changing medicine? The discovery of cancer at the earliest possible stage, challenging limits and transforming the impossible into reality, or connecting people to doctors and specialists when they need it most. At UPMC, we believe life-changing medicine is all those things. Our goal is to change the world of medicine and the lives of those around us. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
Thinking about a career in medicine? Osteopathic medicine combines a total body approach to the patient with modern science. With 4 College of Osteopathic Medicine campuses right here in Pennsylvania, your opportunities are endless. To find out more, visit poma.org. This message is brought to you by the POMA Foundation, a healthy lifestyle partner of the PIAA.
You're listening to the PIAA Football Championships on the PIAA Radio Network.
Back with our post game as the teams are congratulating one another on the field, and eventually we'll get their trophy. Travis, before we get into anything else, I just want to talk about the conversation with Brett Gordon before, and I asked him about getting over the hurdle that was St. Joe's Prep. And again, they didn't beat them once, they beat them twice. He said, we felt last year that we were close. They were the better team last year, that St. Joe's Prep, that is, and they beat them to finish off LaSalle's season in the Philadelphia Catholic League Championship 21-14. He said, but we felt like we were the better team this year. We had more experience coming back. We had the players back, and we felt like that we were better. And he said that's really kind of been the staple of this team. That he said, I won't call it cockiness. I just think we're confident. I think we feel as if we're as good as or better than anybody else out there. And when you're the 6A state champion, you can understand why.
Instilling that mindset from day one, and they proved it with the win against Central Catholic, going on the road in week 1, seeking out those tough opponents. The Catholic League itself is a league full of tough opponents, and a great job all season long. And the men with the golden helmets are taking home the golden trophy.
On the other side for Ryan Lahmeyer, as he finishes his 3rd season since taking over for Pittsburgh Central Catholic, he's going to say goodbye to some quite talented players. He's got 6 Division I players spread between his offense and his defense, but he will bring back his quarterback in Owen Herrick. He will bring back all 3 of those backs that they used in the backfield in Roman Thompson, Chris Black, Jaden Alexander. He will bring back a couple of receivers, and he'll bring back some big pieces along that offensive line as well, including the left side, and a couple of juniors in Jimmy Kalis and John Sasick, who are both 6'6" and 285 and 295 pounds. So the Pittsburgh Central Catholic Vikings, unfortunately for them, are the runner-up 2 years in a row at the Class 6A level, but don't look to think that the Vikings won't be on the horizon in 2026 as well.
LaSalle going over to sing their alma mater with the well-dressed fans that they brought and the marching band as well, then slowly making their way back to the middle of the field, and now the trophy presentation for both teams.
So the trophy ceremony will happen. They will call the captains to the middle of the field for both teams. First for Pittsburgh Central Catholic to get the runner-up trophy, and then for LaSalle. For the first time since 2009, the Explorers are the state champions. A tremendous performance tonight for Gavin Sidwar, another great performance by Joey O'Brien. And let's not forget about the junior running back, and that's for LaSalle, and that's Azir Nelson, who went over 100 yards. Very much of a workmanlike effort for Azir Nelson tonight, as he was able to take the ball time and time again over the course of this night. He never got to that 1,000-yard barrier, but he got awful close, and he ends up with 28 carries on the night, including a touchdown run to help finish off Pittsburgh Central Catholic in that fourth quarter. So a great gutsy effort tonight by Azir Nelson, time and time again, coming up with some big plays.
Yeah, both coaches giving their teams their talk right now, right before the trophy ceremony, and Coach Lehmeyer saying, "Hey, great season. This is what we got to do now to get to the mountaintop here, to try and get back on top." Meanwhile, on the other side for LaSalle, Coach Gordon, I know he's got a fan upstairs looking down on him saying, "Hey, good job, son."
Yeah, very close relationship between himself, between his father, Drew, who passed away a couple of seasons ago, and Brett. And, of course, when they won it in 2009, Drew was the head coach. Brett was the offensive coordinator, and he said took some time away over the course of a couple of seasons. He coached through 2014 with his dad. His dad gave up the head coaching job. Brett got himself involved with doing some other things, but was helping out here and there at some other spots. But the call back, or the opportunity presented itself, and I asked about that, and he said, well, my son was in 8th grade at the time. He said everything just seemed to be kind of lined up for me to accept the job and go back to his alma mater, and he's very happy that he did. And now here he is in his second season winning a state championship. So the LaSalle College High School Explorers are your 6A state champion. And again, the Pittsburgh Central Catholic Vikings will finish the season at 13-2. LaSalle will finish at 13-1 and state champions in Class 6A.
State champions from District 12, the Explorers of LaSalle College High School.
And so indeed, the trophy goes to the victor. And for us, we will take the time to sign off, but don't forget to stick around. James Dotson will run through all of our plays of the game as part of our post-game show. But thanks to the people who helped make this happen. Thanks to Bob Lombardi for stopping by on his final night in action in the state championships. He'll retire at the end of the season and hand the baton over to the very capable Mark Byers to run the PIAA. Thanks to Eric Thomas, who was so instrumental in getting this PIAA radio network started. Thanks to James Dotson for his incredibly hard work. Thanks to my partner, Travis Sparks, for joining me back in the booth here in the PIAA Championships. Thanks very much. My name is Bob McCool. The 6A state champion in 2025 is LaSalle Explorers 34-20. James Dotson will run through all of the plays when we come back after this on the PIAA Radio Network.
Today's game is streaming on the NFHS Network. With the NFHS Network, you can watch live and on-demand high school sports on any device, wherever you are. Text your friends and family who aren't at the game and invite them to watch live now at nfhsnetwork.com or with the NFHS Network app for Apple and Android.
Thank you for over 40 years of trust. During those years, we've helped thousands of people just like you, our neighbors. We're here for you. We're here for our community. We're here for our region. The people that we worry about the most are the people who never hire an attorney. That's what the insurance company wants. When you do call us, you'll know that you have the firm with over 40 years of experience. And remember, there's never a fee unless we get money for you.
Some see a high school football stadium. We see a place where Pennsylvanians come together as a community. The Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters and the PIAA creating opportunities for student athletes to be seen across Pennsylvania.
Welcome to the post-game show on the PIAA Radio Network. With a recap of the game, here's James Dotson.
Final game in the books, 34-20 your final score. LaSalle College getting their second ever PIAA championship, their first one since 2009, defeating Pittsburgh Central Catholic again 34-20. Your final score, it was nip and tuck till the very end. Both teams with a 14-7 lead for LaSalle College going into the second half. First, a crucial touchdown at the end of the first half, and then getting the ball back to start the second half. As we bring Travis Sparks back in real quick, how big was that? I mean, it was almost an hour of game time. Central Catholic's offense not on the field.
Yeah, 55 minutes, I think you and I counted in real time, the last 4:48 of the first half. And I had talked earlier, in the weekend, you got to win the middle 8 minutes. Well, LaSalle owned the middle 8 minutes and then some. They had the ball for a grand total of 13 minutes and 48 seconds of play time. That first drive of the second half, they ran it the first 4 times, and they started throwing it to O'Brien, got it out to a couple other of his receivers as well, managed to get an offsides penalty for a first down, and they had got all the way down to 4th and goal from the 2, and then the first of Joey O'Brien's touchdowns.
And they're going to flip it out for O'Brien, and he's going to throw it for the end zone for Johnson. Touchdown, LaSalle. The flanker screen pass, they threw it to O'Brien, who flicked it to Owen Johnson. Touchdown, Explorers.
Yeah, that capped off a 17-play drive, took exactly 9 minutes off of the clock, and gave the Explorers a 21-7 lead. And then Central Catholic had their best drive of the game, going right back the other way. They converted on a 4th down. They get a pass interference call on a 4th down to extend a drive as well. And then Chris Black gets his second touchdown of the game.
On 3rd and goal, so they're going to go outside with Black on a toss pitch. Tries to get the edge, and Chris Black will dive. Is he in? Touchdown, Vikings.
Made the score 21-14 early in the 4th quarter. But again, those are the first 2 drives of the game. And what does LaSalle do? They go right down the field and with a long drive of their own again.
They started with another long drive. They went 8-9 plays. And then, kind of in exasperation, Sidwar has to call a 3rd timeout of the half. When this was with about 5 minutes to go, and then they end up 4th and 2 at the 27. They don't get the first down. They throw an incompletion. Central Catholic gets it back, and then I believe we have the
the Joey O'Brien show begins to commence.
Looks across the middle, and it's incomplete. It's intercepted. Picked off by Joey O'Brien at the 40, 30, 25, 20. Joey O'Brien still on his feet all the way down inside the 5-yard line.
50 yards on that return. They marked it off at the 2-yard line. Very next play, the 2-score advantage.
Back in is the back. Sidecar right. Now it switches to the left of Gavin Sidwar. And he will follow his tight end around the edge, and Azir Nelson will take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Again, they bring Fandozzi in as the blocker, and he lined up on the right edge, and that's exactly where Azir Nelson ran for the 2-yard score.
Still some life, though, as the extra point was partially blocked, 27-14. Again, Central Catholic's able to drive. They get it to midfield, but almost a carbon copy play. A deflected pass over the middle, picked off again by, guess who? Joey O'Brien.
3rd and 10. Again, straight drop, looking across the middle. Pass off the deflected and into the hands of O'Brien again. Joey O'Brien has it right back again. He's going to take a knee at about the 42-yard line. It was off the fingertips of Maceo Watkins again, and Joey O'Brien was there in the right spot one more time.
Oh, you think one more time, but we will have one more time as the bakery is staying open late here in Cumberland Valley. Unable to get the first downs that they needed to be able to ice the clock. Central Catholic used the rest of their timeouts. They end up getting the ball back to Central Catholic, and a good job driving down the field to get again a chance to maybe get a touchdown, get another onside kick.
You had 2 incompletions and completion, some runs for a first down. Had a completion all the way down to the 17. Was looking to score, but then Mr. O'Brien shut the door.
1st and 10. Again, same look. Herrick again looking for Black across the middle of the field, but he throws it right into the arms of Joey O'Brien for a 3rd time. O'Brien's at the 30. Foot race to midfield. O'Brien shakes it loose, and Joey O'Brien is going to walk his way into the end zone on the interception. Touchdown, Explorers.
95-yard pick six. Those 3 interceptions came 2 minutes and 38 seconds apart of game time. Absolutely incredible. He also threw that touchdown pass, had 8 receptions in the game. I mean, basically, our colleague Eric Thomas just said it best during the break. This was a tight game the entire way, and then probably the best player in the state of Pennsylvania took over in the final 4 minutes.
He said, that's enough. It's time for us to go win gold. And he made play after play after play, and his defense just absolutely stepped up and did a great job. But Central Catholic, to their credit, they came back.
Yeah, they did come back. They drove right down the field in crunch time. They never gave up. And another man in the 3-touchdown club. This time, Chris Black gets a reception and runs it in with 7 seconds left to go to get you to your final score of 34-20. A couple individual stats real quick. Gavin Sidwar, 21 of 29 for a $188 and 2 touchdowns. O'Brien with, again, the 2-yard touchdown pass that he threw to Owen Johnson, another man in that 3-touchdown club. Johnson goes with 8 catches for 48 yards and 3 touchdowns. O'Brien, 10 receptions for 98 yards through the touchdown pass, had the pick 6 and 2 other interceptions as well. For Central Catholic, with Chris Black, 61 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Also caught 3 passes for 44 yards and a 3rd touchdown there as well. Owen Herrick, his first game of the year, his first ever career start. Didn't have the greatest numbers, 8 of 30, but didn't turn the ball over, and really, honestly, did a good job of that tonight too. Until the final, 4 minutes when he kind of had to force it a little bit more. And when you have a ball hawk like O'Brien in the secondary, well, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, his receivers, it was just an inch here, an inch there, and there were some drops, especially in the second half here. Credit to Herrick, he didn't give up. He's got a little more growing to do. He'll be back. Says Central Catholic team, they'll be contenders again in the WPIAL, but wow, what a night for Joey O'Brien. I think between offense and defense, he had about 300 total yards with the 95 and the 50 and the 3-yard interception returns, and plus about 150 yards receiving as well. A phenomenal night for Joey O'Brien, and congratulations to LaSalle. Route 309 goes 2-1 on the weekend with Southern Lehigh winning. Northwestern Lehigh lost today, but good job by LaSalle on the victory, and 2025 is officially in the books.
Officially by your East-West brackets, the East teams win 4 games, the West teams win 2 of them. Class 1A, Clairton, and Class 3A, Avonworth, the 2 teams from the west side of the state from the Pittsburgh area, winning their championships. Clairton 35, Bishop Guilfoyle 3 on Thursday, and Southern Lehigh 43, Twin Valley 21 Thursday night in Class 4A. Real quick, Class 2A, Southern Columbia 43, Farrell 22 in the afternoon game. In Class 5A, Roman Catholic 28, Bishop McDevitt 6. Earlier today, Avonworth 31, Northwestern Lehigh 7. And then here tonight in the final game, LaSalle College 34, Pittsburgh Central Catholic 20. Congratulations to all the champions. Congratulations especially Roman Catholic and Avonworth turning silver a year ago into gold this year. Central Catholic, silver yet again in back-to-back years for the Vikings. Nothing to hang your head on, though, when you make it to the championship game 2 years in a row. I mean, again, you look at a team like Northwestern Lehigh. They've made it 3 years in a row. You're getting to see these teams that they expect to get here. Yes, you'd like gold, but all 12 teams and all 12 fan bases here today, or here this weekend, should be very proud of themselves.
We had a nice mix. A lot of the traditional blue bloods made it here, and some of the rookie teams represented themselves well, like Twin Valley and Southern Lehigh on Thursday night. Yes. Great weekend altogether.
Absolutely. Southern Lehigh, their first ever title, as well as Roman Catholic, first ever state football championship for them. Big thanks again, Dr. Robert Lombardi, helping make this vision into a reality and chatting with us here during the halftime of this game. The entire crew here today, Bob McCool, Travis Sparks on the call for this game. Of course, Eric Thomas working with Cade Prebula in the last couple of games as well. Big shout out to Eric for all he's done to make this this vision become a reality, and everybody involved with the PIAA to make this happen. Again, everybody listening and all the affiliate stations with us as well across the Commonwealth as the beginning of the PIAA radio network coming to life. Final score one last time from Cumberland Valley High School from Chapman Field. LaSalle College, their second ever state championship. They win the 6A gold with a final score of 34-20 over Central Catholic. For the entire PIAA Radio Network crew, I'm James Dotson saying so long and stay tuned. Winter season begins. First Winter Championship competitive spirit just after the New Year's. We'll see you in Hershey for the basketball championships in the middle of March. Congratulations again to all of our champions, and thank you all for tuning in on the PIAA Radio Network.
So the celebration will ensue now for the LaSalle Explorers as the future Missouri Tiger, Gavin Sidwar, will take a snap, take a knee, and take a victory for LaSalle.